Hello, everyone. So we back on another podcast. Right today, we're talking about sports. Most of all, we're talking about scripted sports, which actually drove me crazy before the championship. It was nuts. It had me to the point where, I don't really want to watch the NBA anymore. But right now on the line, I got your boy Chris with me.
What up?
I got David.
You.
Yeah, I also have Bane on the line.
Hey, what's going on?
All right. So, yeah, today we're talking about scripted sports. And, I just want to talk about this past playoffs in the NBA and things that I've seen that was clear as day, and it really upset me. It makes no sense to watch sports anymore for me. But the things I've seen, this is what upset me when it first started for me, which I've seen in the past, but this just took the cake. When I seen Houston playing San Antonio Spurs, and the way the Houston Rockets threw that game, and the way James Harden goes from playing two or number one basketball player in the world at this moment to playing like garbage, that just doesn't happen. I've never seen him play like that ever. Like he's showing turnovers on purpose. He's missing shots that he can clearly make. He's throwing turnovers that he doesn't throw. He already doesn't play defense, so when he wasn't doing that, I already understood that. But you know, right, that just upset me. Then when I've seen other games also this year, that just blew my mind. And the reason why it was set up like that is because they wanted to see the Cavs and the Warriors, and it was also written that the Warriors were going to win this year. I've heard so many people predicting that before. Before they even got to Kevin Durant, people were predicting this last year when the Cavs were still playing the Warriors, that the Warriors were going to win next year. Then after that they got Kevin Durant. I said, okay, I see what's going on. But yeah, what do you guys think, man?
I'll let those guys go first. Say anything to say.
Well, I personally think that well, first of all, how let me ask you a question, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel that they're tanking the games on purpose, that the refs are actually uh you know fixing the game? Do you think they having like a meeting,
Oh
and
yeah,
like deciding that as a team to, as refs to throw a game?
oh yeah,
Or
definitely. What it is see when the sports are fixed, everyone is controlled. The draft is controlled, and Chris knows this. The draft is controlled. The games are controlled to a certain point. The games are controlled. That's why they have to control the draft. You get what I'm saying? They have to control who goes where, what teams are set up where, and who's going to be the top teams, because usually the teams that have the best markets are going to have the top teams, but not all the time. But they're still going to be in big markets. Meaning, for instance, you look at San Antonio, that's a big market. You look at Houston, that's a big market. You look at Golden State, of course, is a big market. LeBron James actually made Cleveland a big market. Miami's a big market. New York is a big market that just can't get it together. Right now, LA can't get it together, but that's still a big market. So when these teams are winning, a lot of this stuff it's choreographed. It's choreographed. And there's a guy, I can't even bring him up. He breaks down to how all of these basketball players are connected. It'll blow your mind. He breaks it down by numbers. Like, for instance, Steph Curry is connected to Kevin Durant. They were born in the same town. They were both born in Akron, Ohio. Now, who's from Akron, Ohio? He broke it down, and he broke down the numbers and how the team, it was crazy. It'll blow your mind. I can't even go deep into it, but I will bring it up next time we speak. I'll look it up right now in a little while. Is that all of these guys are connected. They're chosen. They're Manchurian. Like, for instance, there's certain kids that are good enough. They get pushed into the NBA. They get trained for the NBA at 13. So how do you know that a 13-year-old kid is made for the NBA? I mean, it's not hard to tell. We got Jason here. It's not hard to tell if a kid is made for the NBA. If a kid is 13 years old, and then you go see him playing pickup games with grown men, you know, or kids that are 16, 17, and he's spanking them. He's eating them like cornflakes. You know, what do you think they're going to do? He's going to be chosen. But yeah, Jason, you already know, we're talking about choreographed sports, how everyone's chosen, how games are fixed. And I just want to let you know, Jason, because you're a little bit late. Did you see when Houston played San Antonio this year?
Yeah, I did catch it.
All right. And did you see how James Harden played the games before, and how he played that last game?
Yeah.
Tell me what you think about that, man.
Well, man, you know, it's a business.
There you go.
It all comes down to a business. Simple as that. You have these companies that whoever's going to make the most money, whoever's more marketable, and that's what it is. That's how it boils down to. That, I mean, if you think about it, James Harden shouldn't have did anything like that.
Yeah.
But I was just watching the thing on that.
Man.
How actual organized sports is fixed.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's crazy. It's bugged out because they even include Vegas in that. You know. Now, which game you think is going to make the most money for the next couple of years to come? It's going to be the Cavaliers versus the Golden State Warriors. Now, because they already
until people get tired of it.
Exactly. Right now, it's to a point where it's like, okay, people want to see someone else. So there's going to be another shift. If LeBron stays in Cleveland, you know what? They will make it again next year. It'll be, 4 times for them to play each other.
The new shift already is going to be Houston. Chris Paul went there. Now they're trying to get George. They have Harden. That's the shift. That's the complaint. Listen, the complaint was halfway through this season was that from everybody that knows sports is that the NBA is 2 teams and then there's everybody else. Right? And then the whole thing was there's no parity in the NBA, which means you have these 2 teams and then you have everybody else. Everybody else is playing for 3rd place, basically, right? So the point is that think of something like this. Let's go to the Knicks for a minute. Okay, you have Carmelo Anthony, who's one of the best scorers in the NBA. He's a shitty defensive player, and he's not always in the best of shape. He could, be much better than he is if he really wanted to be, but he doesn't have to be. He gets max money. What does he care, right? But the thing was, so him and Phil Jackson had a falling out, and Phil was kind of looking like he was going to trade him, right? So, like, you heard about how, if the Cavaliers got Melo, that would be the piece they need to beat the Warriors in the finals. This is before the playoffs even started. Like, everybody was already talking. It was going to be Cavs, Golden State, even though the Cavs weren't even the best team in the East, right? They basically gave that up. They gave up that number 1 seed because they wanted to rest their players. It was so, when you think about it, everything these teams did is always going to be those 2 teams. Like, there was nothing stopping those 2 teams. Like I said, the Cavs took time off. They rested their players. They gave up the number 1 seed. Who gives up home court?
It's funny they did it at the same time Golden State was doing it.
Right, but here's the problem. So you have Carmelo Anthony, right? And it was like, oh, Phil's going to trade him. And then now the season's over. You have Carmelo Anthony. You have Phil Jackson still here at the time. And everybody's like, oh, what are they going to do with Carmelo? What are they going to do with Carmelo? Now, they could buy Carmelo out, right? But to buy Carmelo out was like $15 million buyout, right? So if they trade him, and he's got a no-trade clause, if they trade him, then they have to pay 15% of his remaining contract to him to move to trade to be able to trade him. So no matter what they did, they had to give him free money, right? And the whole discussion was, well, if you're Carmelo Anthony and you're getting max money, you love New York, right? If you're not getting traded to Golden State or getting traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers, why would you want to get traded? Because you're going to lose no matter where you go.
Yep.
If you're Carmelo and you're getting max money, the only way you get a trade is if you're going to win, and there's only 2 places you can go to possibly win a championship within the next 2-3 years. And everybody said that's the problem with the NBA, because who wants to move? Unless you're going to those 2 teams, you're going to lose no matter where you go.
Mm-hmm.
It's so rigged that, you know, you have, like I said before we got on the podcast, basketball is rigged and controlled for one simple reason: the referees. The referees have so much discretion. They call phantom calls, all the non-calls. They can totally, technical fouls, they could totally change a series. They could change a game. They could change the series.
Yeah, we've seen it throughout time.
And there's another reason why they're able to script NBA and they can't do it in other sports, is because the NBA, compared to the other 4 major sports, have the smallest rosters. There's less people involved. There's less people to get them to buy in. You know what I'm saying? You can't do it in the NFL. The NFL has 50-man rosters.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? In baseball, you have 25-man rosters, you have a 40-man roster, you have minor league systems. Like, there's just too many people. In hockey's too physical. You can't, people get hurt all the time. You can't control shit like that. But the NBA is so easily controlled.
So you think it's just the NBA? It's not just a lot of other organized sports.
It is, but not as big as the NBA.
It's boxing, and I would even say it's hard to really say, but I would say there are not many. There's a handful of MMA fights that have occurred that you could say it looks like it was scripted. You know what I mean? Like they were trying to build a star, like Conor McGregor, right? Like they were trying to build a star, and the one person that didn't go along with it was Nate Diaz. But then he went along with it on the second go around because they said, well, if you lose this money, there'll be a third one, which means you get more money. That's because, like, this seems weird. Like certain things happen. Like, Conor McGregor, hey man, he's a great fighter, but like he destroyed some legends. It's weird. It's just weird because his ground game was terrible, but yet he was able to do things that, like, you sit there and go, how's this happening? You know what I mean? Like when he fought Mendez, when Mendez was on top of him, he was punching him and it was like nothing. Like he was hitting him with like kid gloves. You know what I mean? When like Mendez hits hard, so it's kind of like something's not right. Like people playing a game for the millions. But yeah, I definitely think the NBA is the one major of the 4 major sports, the one that's definitely scripted. It's definitely they're able to control it.
There was a game years back, Lakers versus Timberwolves. Mark Rubio was running down the court. He was about, and the time was going out, and he throws it up, and Kobe hits his arm. Clearly hits it, but it's Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't call any foul, no nothing. And a ref was talking about that these high value players, because they're going to be selling the most jerseys, they're going to be bringing in the most people, and he said that the NBA actually skewed them to not make as many calls to these big people.
You don't want them to foul out. You don't want them to foul out.
Well, not only just foul out though. Not only just foul out, but he was talking about how they fixed the games also.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget too, in the NBA, there was that one referee that fixed the games, and he went to jail. I mean, he was working with the mob. Google it. Look up the NBA referee fixing games for the mob. and he told how it was done, how they fixed the games, and that's why the NBA is so scriptable, is because it's so easily done.
Mhm.
Like I was saying before we got on the podcast, you can't do that in baseball because the only thing in baseball that one umpire could do is balls and strikes, because balls and strikes aren't reviewable. But pretty much every other play is almost reviewable now. You can't get away with it. You can't make bullshit out calls at other bases. Balls and strikes you can do, but like I said, you can't stop somebody from hitting the ball or hitting a home run. You can't rig that. That's shit. But in basketball, you could choose to call traveling or not, and we all know pretty much in basketball everybody travels.
Matter of fact, that's the same same ref I was talking about.
Everybody travels because if you back in the day with Jordan, really started with Jordan, the way he would palm the ball over and over, and then everybody started. Everybody carries, everybody travels. It just comes down to when the ref chooses to call it or not call it.
Jordan used to travel half the time he had the ball.
Everybody does. Everybody does.
I can't even lie, man. He didn't travel when he would take his 2 steps, but when he palmed that ball and the way he pushed it in front of him, that was definitely a carry half the time. Scottie Pippen had the same dribble moves, so he would do the same thing. But the way those guys, their first step, the way they push the ball ahead and then do, as they're dribbling, do their crossovers, they're definitely carrying half the time.
And then
I could have sworn there was times where I've seen NBA players switch their pivot foot too.
Oh, they do all the time, yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, and that's where I think it becomes so easy for these refs to make calls or not make calls, because it allows them to pick the. And only two, obviously referees could do whatever they want, because if they don't like a player, they'll just keep calling shitty fouls on them for no reason. And you'll be like, phantom fouls. Dude, how many times do you see phantom foul calls where the dude didn't even touch the person? And you're like, what the hell? And then the player's shocked, and then the player gets a technical, and you're like, what the hell's going on here? That's the NBA. It's like the biggest joke.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next biggest joke in professional sports.
Hold up. There was another example. There's another example. In the finals, this past finals, where they called a technical on Desmond Green, and then they turned around and called another technical the next quarter
on Draymond Green.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I seen that.
And then they said that they called it on Steve Kerr instead.
Yeah, they didn't want to get him out of there because what they did last year, Draymond Green is definitely the X factor on that team. He troubles LeBron. KD can't hold LeBron, really. I mean, he can guard him half the time, but Draymond is the only one that can really get in his head and shut him down. When Draymond's not in that game, if Draymond gets suspended again last finals, I don't think the Cavs win, but it at least goes to 6 games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it was matter of fact, I think it was the last game.
Mm-hmm.
It would have never went to Game 7 if he was
never.
If he didn't get teed out. But
exactly.
You don't really know though. But logic would say the way they were playing that him not being there because he got suspended is the difference maker of why
it
they
is.
lost.
But then you have to think too of the Cavs not having who they had, so it's all for a game.
But all fairness, he is a dirty ass player.
He is.
So it's almost like karma. But then again, it could have been all part of the great scheme because they wanted to have these two teams go three times in a row to the finals.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you're right, man. What you were saying earlier, Houston just might be that next team.
I think it is.
The same way they played last year. They played excellent. And the powers that be knew if they would have met the Warriors would have been in some Kevin Durant or no Kevin Durant. The Warriors would have been in trouble. The way that Houston plays so high, they play just as high tempo as the Warriors. it would have bothered them defensively. And when you're playing a lot of defense, you're going to get worn out too. It's but so much attacking you can do on offense. And Houston has more people that are just that they can shoot, but they really stick to defense. So I think that would have been a battle. But go ahead, what you want to say?
I don't know. Like, listen, the NBA is the second most watched sport in America, right? The NFL's first. The NBA makes the second amount of money. Brings in the second highest amount of money compared to the NFL. The thing is with the NBA is it's a weird. The NFL has like it has its dominant teams, right? Like, say you got the Patriots, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do the Patriots and let's do the Golden State Warriors, right? The difference there is that the Patriots could go 16-0, have a historical season, and lose in the Super Bowl like they did.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still an amazing thing because the Giants ruined everything, right?
Yo, you know what? Back in 2002, the Patriots did the refs did cheat for the Patriots.
Well, I'm just saying, and on that, the Patriots as an organization cheat. So, but the thing is this: the NFL though will put penalties on people. Like, even this year, Tom Brady sat out 4 games, and it didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, they lost Aaron Hernandez because he wanted to kill some people. It didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were still good enough because they knew how to build a team. But just because they're good enough and they know how to build a team, doesn't mean they're going to win it all. But, like, the way the NBA is constructed, it's almost like you don't even have to play half the time. Like, don't worry, you're going to be there. You know what I mean? Like, do you remember this year, the big craze this year was everybody was resting their players?
Yeah.
Weren't playing. And what happened was there was a huge backlash because, like you guys said, right? You were talking about how Kobe, right? Kobe fouled some people, but like they didn't want to call it because they didn't want to because he's the popular player, blah blah blah. Well, this year when all these players were resting,
some of them were about to get fined. Some teams almost got fined.
Well, only reason that was because people were complaining to Silver, that
Silver, yeah.
people pay money to go see these superstar players.
Yep.
You show up, and these superstar players are sitting on the bench because they want to take some days off.
They're not even there.
Listen, they're only there because people fill the seats and pay tickets. If people don't come to watch the games, I don't care how good you are playing basketball. It won't matter. That's where the money is. Money is the people that buy the jerseys and buy the tickets. If you're not playing the game, why should people show up? And that's what happened. People started complaining to the NBA home office, and boom. So Silva had to start making calls and tell people, you can't do this, you can't do that. I mean, it was so bad that in the Saturday game on ABC, the announcers were making jokes about how nobody was playing, and this is going to be a horrible game.
It's crazy.
The Cavs were.
Yeah, get what you're saying?
It was like the Cavs were somebody, and like half the Cavs team wasn't playing.
Yeah, who's the team which team got a lot of backlash for that? The San Antonio Spurs, because Popovich just doesn't care, and it was a big game just like that, and he had half of the stars not even there. Like Lamar Aldridge wasn't there. Who's the other guy? Kawhi Leonard wasn't there. Tony Parker was on the bench. And then they were like, look, come on, you can't do this next game. We're going to find you. And that was the first team that they were going to find. Because Papa was just like, hey, look, I got to rest my guys. We got to prepare for the playoffs,
All right. It's funny. Now, it's funny that you guys say this. We're talking about this because do you know that the NFL has a rule kind of like this where they brought this up with the Patriots. The NFL, right? The NFL is weird because the NFL is so big in Vegas with betting that the NFL has that weekly injury report Because with the betting, the way the betting is, if somebody's injured in the NFL, they have to disclose it. They have to say, "Hey, this person's injured," right? Because it affects the betting, believe it or not, which is crazy, right? What they would do in New England with the Patriots, Belichick every single week put Brady on the injury list. Every week, he put him on the injury list. And they were saying that what the NBA coaches should have done, if a player wasn't going to play, don't say he's resting. Put him on an injury list. Say he's got a bad ankle.
That's what they started doing too.
Right, and everybody said, but the problem was it was too late.
Mm-hmm.
You already realized you got caught what you were doing, just resting people. People complain, "Oh, they're injured." You know what I mean? Like, it's just stupid that they weren't smart enough to do it from the get-go.
You know what's funny though, when they said that they did it with the Warriors did that, right, with Kevin Durant, and they're like, "Oh, he's injured." Same thing because of his ankles, right? But the only reason I believe that because the guy's so skinny, he's what 6'10", his ankles got to be hurt at some point. And but I believe that. I just wanted to talk about that. But yeah, a lot of people, and it works too for people that are injury prone. Like now, Kawhi Leonard, in his finals, right before the finals hit, and he got kicked out, and he's had bad knees. So at any point in the future, when he wants to rest, they can say, "Oh, he has a knee injury." This person has a knee injury. They can do it with players like that.
And it's also too like, all right, so the NBA, I'm convinced the NBA, like I said, they can script their games because of the referees, right? And the referees have total control of the game, and they can pretty much do whatever they want. They can make these phantom calls, these non-calls. They could, dictate all these different things. And what's funny is since they really can't do it in other sports, what you do see though, and this is interesting, like in baseball, even though they can't rig it, they're looking for storylines to push because it comes down to money. Like we said in the beginning, it comes down to money at the end. It's a business, right? So like, the NBA wants to push the whole Golden State versus Cleveland, right? But in baseball, remember last year, the Cubs won the World Series. That was their main storyline going into that season. Would the Cubs end their 108-year drought, right? But this year, the Cubs are average. But so what baseball is confused about is you could tell there's a messaging. You could tell behind closed doors with Major League Baseball and the people that report on Major League Baseball at the high level working for the MLB network, they push a message that comes out from MLB headquarters. They push a narrative, just like the news. They push a narrative. So, like, the Cubs aren't good this year, right? But whenever a talking head in baseball talks about the Cubs, it's with the glass half full, not half empty. Yeah, the Cubs are not good this year, but they talk about it in a way that, oh, don't worry, at the end of the season, they're going to show up there and make their run. But realistically, you're sitting there going, not really. This is too much competition for them to make a run. And the thing is, you could tell that it's pushed. Like, the message is pushed. They're pushing it on the viewer like, oh, yeah, the Cubs are going to be there in the end. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's what
not to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but when the Cubs won, I forget who it was. One of the interviewers asked him, like, what are you thinking? He was like, oh, just how we scripted it. And it could have been just a play on words, but
yeah, play on words.
Like it makes you think.
I think that would be a play on words because a lot of professional athletes have said things like that before. Like, they've said before, we couldn't have scripted it any better. People have said that before. Like, we couldn't have scripted it better.
But they all foul, no matter which way you say it.
No, not really. Because like I said, in baseball, you can't script it. In baseball, it's just too hard because you can't control the game. The NBA, you can control everything because it's so controllable. But in baseball, like I said, they try to push this like message, this narrative, and it's just amazing. Like, It's just like the news. Like whatever that news network wants to push out, no matter if it's true or false or whatever, they throw it out there, and they just beat it into you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. That's why I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm not watching the NBA no more. I'm about to just start watching the PBA. Yeah, I'm actually gonna go see the Governor's Cup too. I'm gonna go get some tickets for that. It starts in July. I want to check that out, man. See what the Philippines Basketball Association is about.
Hey Jay.
Yeah,
hey Jay, I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, can someone from America play in PBA?
Yeah, they can.
Yeah, you can. You just have to have two. I think it's 2 years of college basketball.
Okay.
And at least I think 12 minutes.
12 minutes.
Yeah.
12 minutes played.
In a college basketball game.
Oh, okay. All right, got you.
They're more strict than the NBA. You have to play 2 years, no one and done.
Yeah.
I actually looked into it a couple years back, but I only had a football time.
Oh.
Yeah, but you see a lot of You know, it's funny. I actually seen. You know who's out here? Andre Blatch. You know the tall guy that was with Brooklyn. You know what I'm talking about, Chris.
Not ringing a bell.
And Andre Blatch, the guy that always wears the headband. He got a good handle for a dude that's like 6'11". He played with Brooklyn. You remember him? He had game, Andre Blatch. Well, anyway,
I heard.
Yeah, he lives out here. I actually think I seen him. I saw this dude when they walked outside. He was like 6'11", standing with this this Filipina girl in my condo, right? And I'm looking at this dude, and I'm like, yo, he looked like Andre. I should have said something to him. I know that was him. I said, well, yo, Andre, what's up? Well, he's playing out here in the PBA. And he played in the Olympics with the Philippines, too. And they ran that guy into the mud, man, because he played like everything but 2 minutes. And, he's playing against some good competition because he was playing in the Olympics with the Philippines. And he really didn't get any rest. And I was like, wow, this dude still got it because he was playing at top level, running up and down that court, dead tired, and he was competing.
Right.
And I'm just shocked that no one really gave him a real chance in the NBA that I think he deserved. But sometimes you need to go to another country as a sports player and get yourself together. I mean, look at Stephon Marbury's the man in China.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I heard about that.
I mean, Stephon Marbury. How much did he make with his shoes? Anybody look that up? He's making a killing with his shoes, right, Chris?
Where?
Over China.
Maybe in China, but like 10 years ago.
The Starberries?
The Starberries.
That was like 10 years ago.
Ain't nobody.
Nah, they're back out. They're back out, Chris.
For like $20.
No, but they're making money.
They actually.
Ain't nobody buying those Starberries.
Nah, they buying them out there. You know what's funny? It's the thing.
In China?
In China, man.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. It's a lot of them. So, yeah, he could be making money.
Carlos Booz is in China.
Okay.
No, them just said. Josh Smith and Carlos Booz is in China. So what happens is they go over there and get their money and get their because that's what happens. You see, Ron Artest played in China. That's what happens. A lot of times people look at them as washed up. I don't know why people seeing Stephon Marbury as washed up. Remember, he was on the Knicks. He was counted out. But he played like crap on the Knicks.
Yeah, but you know what it is, too? Once you lose that step, you may not look like they lost a step completely, but you got to remember, when new kids are coming in, the league's getting younger, you start losing that step. You can't play at that level. But you go somewhere else, you can, and you have to make that decision. And but it's the same thing in baseball, because in baseball, if you don't do well, let's just say you get a little bit of major league time, but it's not really panning out, and you don't really want to play in the minors any longer. You can go to Korea, you can go to Japan and play.
It's funny. This doesn't blow your mind, but you and I know it's even the same thing in music if you do it right. But that's what all these old guys do in the music. These guys, they're like Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah, but actually, yeah, where that's like the
or if you're a problematic player too.
Yeah, that's true. They got timeless music.
With the music though.
Look at Iverson.
With the music, it's more like you're appreciated more later in your career outside of the U.S. But you could actually, a lot of times in music, it's easier to build your career up outside the U.S. than make it big in the U.S.
Yep.
Because of the way the record labels and the radio works here is so controlled. It's not like that overseas.
It sure isn't. And I don't know why, it's a lot of people I know that want to still make it in music. And it's like they're still trying to like blow up and, do it the old school way. Chris knows. And you guys know. You remember how before you come out, you wouldn't make yourself viral. You just, I'm going to drop a hot song and see what happens. And see who picks it up. A lot of guys are still trying to make it in their music that way. It's like, this is not 1995. The old ways.
Yeah, it changed a lot. The dynamics changed.
Exactly.
Because there's no more real distribution any longer. You could use the internet to however you want to. You don't need the middleman. You can go right to iTunes and submit your music to iTunes. Like, you don't need that label. But even though you don't need that label, the labels still basically control the radio stations. So they keep you from being huge unless you can figure out how to be huge on the internet and force them to give you radio player distribution deal.
Exactly.
But back in the day, you had to go through that gatekeeper. You know what I mean? Like that's what they were. They were a gatekeeper. But it was all money. It was all money. That's all it was. If they felt they could make money off of you, you were going to be in.
Hey, guys, I'll tell you this right now. Look, me and your boy Chris are accepting all artists right now. All right, you need a manager, you need somebody to manage your career. We can show you how to get started in other countries and how to make it happen. If you're good, and you're good, because we will play the music on this channel here, people can tell you if you're good or not. Contact your boy ChrisMadeIt at gmail.com. And yeah, we want to see if you're a good artist and you're good enough to jump on some beats. So contact us. Your boy ChrisMadeIt at gmail.com. That's my commercial. Hey, I like my commercial. But yo, I just got to talk about this real quick. I didn't even tell him, and I'm happy I didn't. Your boy Chris, what was that beat on that last, I didn't hear that yet. It was fire, man.
Which one? Which video?
It sounded, I forgot. It sounded, the one that sounded like a Prodigy beat. You know what I'm talking about. It had you know what I'm talking about. It was like trap, but it wasn't. It was like Prodigy. It had like a Prodigy feel to it. I just wanted to see if you could find that and play that for RP the Prodigy. If we can't play no Prodigy, they're gonna shut this whole podcast down with copyrights.
I'd have to know which video it was on because I put different ones on the last couple of videos.
Oh, I'll find it. Well, we can keep talking. But yeah, everyone, if you just joined, we just talking about sports and right now we're talking about music and we're talking about how artists and also basketball players are taking their talents to different countries and making more money, later in their career. And also note them has some good stuff. Amari Stoudemire went to Israel, won a title. I didn't know that.
You know what it is? These guys.
Iverson was in Israel also.
And Iverson is completely washed though, man. That's hard to say.
Well, he's doing that.
Easy, Jay. Easy,
Jay.
Man.
He is.
That's I hear you, but easy, man.
Iverson is my favorite player of all time. But you gotta call it like it is. Just like right now, LeBron James is my favorite player now. But the day that he is washed up, I would say LeBron is washed up.
You can't be 40 years old bowling in the NBA with these young kids. We spend 1 year in college. It's just not. You can't keep up.
But what about Dirk Nowitzki?
But that's different. Dirk is 7 foot with a fadeaway Jordan jump shot of 1 foot that nobody can block.
Yeah, but seven footers 7-footers are going to have a lot more health issues, knee problems, back problems.
That's something.
Allen Iverson took a beating.
Let me tell you something.
He took a beating in the NBA.
This is what hurts Iverson. Iverson is only 6 feet, right? 160 pounds. You know, me, I'm 5'7", 190 pounds. So you got to compare that. You know, if I bang Iverson a little bit too much, he's going to take a beating. But Iverson is not the football player he used to be before. Everybody got to remember, Iverson was a young football player. You know, there's a lot of young, skinny football players that can take beatings. But Iverson is not that football player anymore.
What about Vince Carter also?
Well, Vince Carter's timeless, man. His game is maturing. Vince Carter got another 3 years in the NBA. Was he 40, right? I think he is 40.
Yeah, he should be.
Yeah. I can see Vince Carter playing for 3 years. And he has a championship coming. Hold up, aren't they putting Vince Carter on a championship team or a championship caliber team? I don't know. I got to do my research on that.
Who was that?
Vince Carter. All right, let's get it. Now we're still getting it from Note them. Where's Vince Carter going next year? Note them is our chat expert.
Yeah. That's where I seen Vince Carter on. I was like, oh yeah, Vince Carter's still in there.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, what were you gonna say, Chris? Somebody's gonna carry the conversation somewhere.
And I was just looking at Dirk Nowitzki's 39 years old. He only played 54 games last year. His injuries is like the last 5 or 6 years. He's pretty much, had to work around it.
See, Notem knows. He watches it, and that's where I seen it at Notem. I seen it on the internet on one of those channels. Vince Carter wants to go to Golden State, and they might take him. I think it's worth it. He still has a 3. He still can defend. He still can.
He only makes $8 million a year.
That's perfect. He fits right into the system.
40. He's 40. He turns 41 in January.
You know who was another player that actually played well into his 40s and still had a decent game.
Grant Hill, right?
Nah. Grant Hill, he had ankle problems, but it was what was his name?
Yeah, that's true. He's in Big 3 now. Chris, that's what you were saying.
Yeah.
Your boy Chris. He's in Big 3 with Iverson. Yo, I actually like that league, man.
I haven't watched it yet, but I watched the build up for it, but I didn't watch any of the games.
You got to watch it because you can watch the quick clips. I feel like I can play in the Big 3, like because they're like old dudes. You know what I mean? They're not jumping high anymore.
Half court.
Yeah, they're playing half court. You don't got to run all day. You still running.
Court.
Yeah, I'm like, I can get in that. I just can't body nobody. I can body them up a little bit, but just let me shoot some threes, just some crossovers. I like it, man. I like that a lot. That's my style of play. But yeah, your boy Chris, you got to watch a game of that, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out soon.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so Jay or Chris, who's going to come in the East and take over for Cleveland, and who's going to come from the West to take over from Golden State? What teams do you think are going to be?
I honestly only think I think Houston is the only team that's going to be able to improve enough to make a dent because they're collecting pieces right now. I mean, they got Paul and they're trying to get George. You know what it is? Let's just say in the East, like who could do anything? Like
no one.
But like who are the Celtics going to get? You know what I mean? Like we'll find out. Free agency's opening up. We'll find out what's going on. But like the Knicks aren't going to do anything.
No.
The Bulls traded pieces away. It's kind of like, you say to yourself, it's almost like people are willing to move.
I think the Celtics are always going to be in there.
They're going to be in the playoffs.
But they're not going to win, though.
They're not winning, no.
No, I'm saying they're gonna try. They're always going to No, they're always going to try to push the Celtics narrative. Always.
Of course, yeah.
Well, they should always try to push the Celtics and the Lakers narrative. That's golden, you know. And like they were talking about it today on a show I was listening to, that the Lakers are revamping their entire approach to basketball from the front office down. They're calling it Lakers 2.0, and how like they were questioning, like, would the Lakers bring Phil Jackson back at any level, right?
As a coach only.
No, in any kind of capacity, not as a coach, not as a GM, just a different capacity. And they said that one of the reporters for ESPN said no. Magic Johnson was asked about that, and he said no. It's a youth movement. The Lakers are all about youth now.
Mm-hmm.
From people they want to go younger internally as well as the players. Everything's about youth.
Mm-hmm.
So, speaking about the Lakers, what do you think about
Lonzo
Ball?
Yeah, I knew he was going to say that. I was thinking that. You read my mind. Lonzo Ball, I looked at him. You know, he actually is the number 2 player coming out of college behind Fultz. I think he's exciting. Fultz is going to go to a good team, too, that young team in Philly, not this year, but I think this year they may have a chance to go to the playoffs, maybe not. But they're definitely going to be in playoff contention for the years to come. I think Ball is going to be all right. A lot of people think he's going to go in and get washed. I don't think so. He has a quick jump shot in deep range like Steph Curry. He's not as consistent as Steph Curry, but if he can shoot it at a 49% clip, you know, and the way he shoots, you don't know when he's going to shoot. So I think he's going to be a problem. I do think he's going to be good. I think if you put the right team around him, because he does pass well. If you put the right team around him, I think he's going to shine.
I wouldn't say he passes well, because his number 1 asset to any team is the fact is that in the NBA draft, he's the number 1 player. Everybody had him as the number 1 player that makes the players around him better.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the Lakers wanted him more than anything, because they see his vision as he is the Jason Kidd. Like Jason Kidd, when in his prime, made everybody better, right? He elevated everybody's game, and that's what they're looking for him to do. So his scoring, as much as it's important, it's more about what he brings to the table, because then if he makes everybody better, it makes it harder to defend anybody.
That's true.
The kid's going to dish the ball forever.
And Jason Kidd in college was a scorer too, so I can see that. Okay.
So,
P City said super teams are messing up the NBA.
Yeah, I think so. But now they're doing it in such a way that it's going to mess up the NBA, but I think the NBA is going to have more super teams. So I think it will be very competitive, meaning instead of just 2, I think now it's going to be like 7 and 8. And the NBA is going to get real exciting.
I don't think they can do that because of the cap.
No, they can. Because there's a lot of stars coming up. You know, you got to look at all the different stars that are not on joint teams yet. There's a lot of stars in the NBA.
But it's hard to bank on rookies, young players, to really be able to give you superstar quality. A lot of times these kids come out of college, their first year or 2 is rough. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like with the salary cap, it makes it hard, and less players are willing to take less money to stay or to join a team. Like you need players that are willing to join a team for less than they're worth. Or you need people like LeBron to say, okay, I'll take $2 million less so we can have this guy on our bench when we need him. You know what I mean? Which LeBron has showed he's willing to do. People like Dwayne Wade did it. You know what I mean? Like they're willing to take a couple of bucks off the top to resign people. Like just like in Golden State right now, right? They got to resign Thompson. So they need Durant to shave some money off his contract so they can squeeze in. You know what I mean? Like it's a group effort. So what do you want? Do you want a super team, or do you want to just, you know what I mean? Like these players side. But the cap is, listen, that's why when I was talking about Carmelo, this is why a lot of players will not leave their teams, because only the team they're with right now, they get a max contract. You can't get that $25 million if you go to a different team. You could stay on a bum team and get $25 million a year. What are you going to do?
Well, I guess that's what makes it so good for like LA and the Sixers, where they basically building a team like
Young teams.
Huh?
Young teams. Young, unproven
young
teams.
team.
Wait, but
Right.
If it works out, you know, then you can go trade and bring a big dollar piece in because you have the money, you have the room. You know,
Right.
when you're a team like the Cavs, right? Listen, to the Cavs could have got Carmelo Anthony if they really wanted to. But how are you going to pay him? Even if you moved Kevin Love, like, first of all, Kevin Love wouldn't have been enough to get Carmelo, but like, where are you freeing up the money to pay this guy?
Get rid of all. What's his name? Thomas. What's the power forward?
But you're getting rid of too many.
Thompson.
You're getting rid of
Oh,
too many.
no, they can't. They can't get rid of Thompson.
Why not?
Thompson, man,
He had three rebounds one game.
I know that.
Three
Thompson,
rebounds. That's it.
Thompson.
Nah, I know
You
that,
get
but
$85 million.
Thompson was like Thompson didn't do anything.
He didn't. But
Thompson, dude, that's what I'm saying. You gotta move him.
Now he gives you a whole season, man.
Huh?
Thompson is 6'9" and he bangs down low. Have you watched Thompson's game?
All right, but check this out. He need to do that in the playoffs.
In the finals.
He need to do that in the playoffs.
That's at the time they got to give him some help. I think Thompson. No, seriously, Thompson needs help. Thompson is 6'9". He should be in that power forward position. He shouldn't play center.
The Kardashian curse.
I don't think he was cursed. Not him. He didn't get it yet. But I think they need help. I think actually Cleveland needs a big man. Look at who Golden State had, who I think his game has matured nicely. JaVale McGee. Golden State got to bring him back.
Yep.
JaVale has matured, and he is ready to be an all-star center. I'll give him 2 years. JaVale McGee is good. He's finally going to get his chance. He got it.
I like JaVale when he like. I was like, yo, yeah, he's gonna be good, but he just needed a little bit schooling out.
But you know what? He needed the Warriors. He has Steph Curry talking to him. He has Durant talking to him. He has Thompson talking to him. You know, Draymond Green is talking to him. He's crazy. So he got these guys joining his head. Now you can't make stupid moves. Stop turning the ball over. And you know what? He stopped turning that ball over. He's a better passer now. I'm looking at him in the offense. I'm like, damn, you would never think this was JaVale McGee. This was 3 years ago. But that's what they need. They need a piece like that. That's what the Cavs need. LeBron keeps going for these shooters. LeBron, you need a big guy that can still pound down low and get rebounds.
Moss guys, was that guy for them, but they let him go.
Well, Moss guy has a lot of injuries. They need a guy that can move. Like, if Cavs would have made a big trade for, which would never happen, for somebody like an Anthony Davis, which they can never do. That's what they need, though. They need a piece like that. Not as good as Anthony Davis, but as good as JaVale McGee. We're almost there. That's what they're missing. They're missing that glue guy.
Anthony Davis, he's the top, one of the top dudes.
He is. But I'm saying like a guy like that size, like not a big burly guy. They need a guy that can move. Yeah, that can move, that can get rebounds, that's lanky. They need that guy like 6'10", 6'11", with like a 7'4" reach, you know?
Who's the cat off the Knicks?
That's what they need. They should push for him. They need Porzingis on the Cavs.
Yeah,
if the Cavs got Porzingis, that's what they need. Porzingis.
What they got to give? What they got to give for him?
Nothing. No,
actually
Tristan Thompson. They ain't gonna give up
unless they giving up trades.
Unless they give up trades. That's an $85 million contract they eating.
Yo, man, they need him though.
So they wouldn't. Well, they gonna have to do a lot to get him. I know that.
Yeah, they gotta move some people. But you know what? I would trade Durant for Porzingis. It may blow your mind now, but then when you see when the games comes down to the finals, Porzingis is getting those rebounds because Porzingis is leaky. Yeah,
hold on. What you say? Did you just say you You'll trade Porzingis for.
No, not Durant. No, I said it wrong. I meant to say, what's the guy's name? I said Kevin Love. I meant to say. Of course, I would do that.
All right, all right.
I would do that trade. I would risk
For the
somebody
record,
shooting threes for somebody that's going to get rebounds and shoot threes. Porzingis can shoot. I would trade somebody shooting threes for somebody that. But don't get me wrong, Kevin Love gets rebounds. But I'm talking about somebody that can pound down there when it's in the clutch. Porzingis has enough to do.
That's supposed to be Tristan Thompson, and he ain't doing it. He a bum.
No, he's not a bum. He's too small down there, man. Tristan Thompson is going against Real Madrid.
$85 million, and you got 3 rebounds. You eating up a lot of the cap.
Yeah, they do got
You eating up a lot of the cap to not be producing in the playoffs, man. I have no skin in the game. You know, I'm a Sixers fan. I'm just saying, damn, give LeBron some help.
He doesn't shoot too. He's not a good shooter.
Right.
Yeah, they gotta get rid of him. Yeah, they gotta get rid of him. He's a pounder down there. But yeah, I'm thinking about it. You get rid of Porzingis, you get rid of maybe another key you get rid of Thompson, but they're not gonna take Thompson. The Knicks don't want Thompson.
Yo, you know who Cleveland's talking about getting also is what's his name? First.
Who's that? DeAndre Jordan.
Blake Griffin.
Yeah, Blake Griffin would be a difference maker.
Oh, he a free agent?
The crazy thing, even with DeAndre Jordan, the Clippers would be better. DeAndre Jordan, I think, would be more of a better trade than Blake Griffin, because that's what they need. They need that defense, which DeAndre Jordan has.
I think DeAndre.
And DeAndre Jordan's getting better. I know you see his game.
Would be a better.
I know you see his game. DeAndre Jordan's getting better. He can shoot better now. Mid range. His game, he's stepping his game up. I think him with LeBron training, DeAndre Jordan. I'll take him over Blake Griffin. He fits the system.
Yeah, but how are they going to pay these guys, though?
I know, that's the crazy thing.
You know what?
That's what I'm saying. They got to move up their contract.
As much as Blake Griffin now. Because he's an all-star.
Blake Griffin made $30 million this year.
He has a year left on his contract.
DeAndre's 26.
Oh, I thought he was a free agent.
Well, then I would take DeAndre Jordan.
Blake Griffin is a free agent this year, but this past year he made $30 million.
Give me DeAndre Jordan. You can keep Blake Griffin. I like his game, but Blake Griffin is I think DeAndre Jordan fits the system better. Blake Griffin went to the Cavaliers. First of all, they'd have to drop somebody. And he'd have to take a pay cut too. Like, he'd have to come there going, "You got to win, and I'll take less money." But you know what I mean? Like, and only that too. You know, here's the other problem. This has been talked about too. You know, LeBron only has 1 year on his contract left. So any free agent that comes there is going to say, "I want an opt-out. I want a 1 year opt-out in my contract. I want to be able to opt out after this coming year."
Yeah.
So
if LeBron leaves, I can leave. And that's even dumbass Kyrie Irving said in an interview, "Well, if LeBron leaves, I'm going to wind up opting out too." So that's great. That way to stick it to Cleveland.
I know.
Again.
That's the problem.
Again.
See, that's the problem. That's the problem with these opt-outs, or like these players feeling so entitled, like Paul George. "Oh, I'm going to opt out next year." You have a whole year left to play.
Yeah. Shouldn't be talking about that.
Don't open your mouth, because you're just forcing people's hand. What you're basically saying is, "I want to trade." That's what you're saying. Be man enough to say, "I want to trade." Don't be an entitled little punk.
You know, I don't understand why the Clippers are losing so many players like that. You got the richest owner in the NBA.
Yeah, you know what's funny about that? It's funny that, you know, they traded Chris Paul. Right, so that was a trade, but then all of a sudden Blake Griffin's like not even thinking about resigning.
Well, they were going to lose Paul anyways in 4 to 5 days, because his what he call was coming up. So they might as well get something out of it. but they really didn't get nothing out of it. Anything worth anything.
Yeah, I don't think they care at this point. I think the Clippers just started looking at rebuilding. They know that after that happened this year, and people were saying it too after they lost and how fast they lost. People were saying, "Look, the ship has crashed." I do think it's crashed. How long have they been together? What, 5 years?
Yeah. I don't think it was going to go anywhere.
It's not going anywhere.
They should be winning. But that goes back to our original conversation of how fixed is it?
They should have got rid of you know what though? It's hard to fix something when you got a guy like Dan Antonio, man. D'Antoni. He's a problem. That's why Houston had to throw that game, man. The way Houston executed the system faster than Phoenix did. Don't get me wrong, Steve Nash was great. He pushed that system the best. But the way that James Harden did it, it was so fast and so intense. And they came at you and scored so quick that it was like, man, we got to get Houston to throw this game. That's how serious it was. Because I've never seen a game thrown that badly for years. Dude, I've never seen a team throw a game like that. I've seen a team miss shots here and there. But the way they threw that game, it was bad, man. It was bad. And they had to. They had to show. It's like James Harden wanted to show, look, this whole thing is rigged. He had the attitude missing shots like, man, y'all know I'll smoke. Y'all know I'll smoke San Antonio. He knew it. He was pissed. James Harden was missing shots pissed like, y'all know what it is. He wanted to show people that it happened because D'Antoni's system is so good that it's hard to get a person like that. Like, they wasn't getting beat by San Antonio. Straight up. They wasn't getting beat. No, they could have still got beaten by Warriors, but it would have been hard on the Warriors because of that system. That's why if Paul goes to that system and they're going to get some other pieces, Paul is the one making the smartest move right now in his free agency. He's going to that D'Antoni system. They get another big guy that can execute that system. It's going to be problems in the West, man.
I wonder what the cap room is at Houston because Griffin could go there too, and then they'd have Harden back. It would be they could build it. See, but the only thing is though, like, yeah, it's so weird. Like I said, everybody basically to make a super team needs somebody to take a pay cut. You know, no matter how you look at it, like if you're looking at proven all-star talent, you try to put 3 all-stars together on one team. You're bringing somebody in out of the free agent, they got to take a pay cut. Somebody's got to take a pay cut.
But on a team like Houston, you only really need 2. Maybe a third one, which is not necessarily a super team. Depending on how the pieces are around them. Actually, no, that would be a super team for Houston because of the system. That would be a super team. But if it was 2 people, you know, if Paul and Harden can gel well, that's going to be a super team. And people don't see it because you got 2 point guards running that system, meaning when one is out, you got Harden in it. You get what I'm saying, right, y'all? That means when Harden is rested, you got someone, Paul, who's still moving that system perfectly. So that means the system moves all game long. So that means they can pound it on teams all the game long. Only thing they need is Paul. That's it. And it's a smart move. People don't get it. You got Paul, you got Harden, 2 people that's going in that system like water. They're going to win more games, 155 games this year, and they're going to the Western Conference Finals. And if they don't rig it, if they let it happen and they want it to go in Houston's favor, Warriors in trouble.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the Rockets roster right now. You got Eric Gordon,
Scorer,
Ariza,
and defender. What's that white guy's name? Decker. What's that Decker guy? Decker hits threes. He can play defense. They got guys that can play defense and scores. And score. They got Corey. What's his name? Corey Brewer. They still got him. Corey's a defender and a scorer. They got guys that can defend. Nene's a defender and a scorer. They got guys that can defend and score, except for James Harden and Eric Gordon. So these are guys that can compete, and these guys that
Troy Williams, Lou Williams.
scorer who did great last year. They have just the right pieces that can run that system, and that's what they need. It's just like San Antonio. That's what Dan Antoni brings as a coach. It's like, you know what you're getting with Popovich. You're going to get a solid team that's going to win. But Dan Antoni, same thing. He has the right squad. You're going to get a solid team that wins if you can run the system right. I mean, look what he did with Phoenix for so many years. What happened?
P City's talking about Minnesota also.
Minnesota's going to be all right. Yeah, they're going to be.
They're going to be all right. I don't think they're going to be Houston.
Bros with Minnesota.
Warriors caliber, but they're going to be okay.
Who did your PC? Who did Minnesota get besides Brewer? I forgot. They got somebody big.
They got
who it was. They got who?
Butler from Chicago.
Oh yeah, that's right. They got Butler.
Butler.
Yeah, that's a big move.
They have Towns and Rubio, so that's their three pieces right there.
Yeah, and also their the young guys, Towns got game. What's his name? Got a lot better too last year. What's his name? Levine is good. Did they get rid of Levine?
Don't they still got Shabazz?
Shabazz. Also, what's the other guy's name? The number 22. Who's balling? I forgot. The guy that was like Michael Jordan, supposed to be like Michael Jordan. Andrew Wiggins. Yeah, they got Wiggins. They got a squad.
Karl Anthony Towns, Wiggins, Rubio, Butler, Lou's for center.
Oh, Zach went to the Bulls. That's what they traded him for. That's right.
Yeah, Minnesota's got a good team.
Yeah,
they might be
Brandon Rush.
They might be like a year away or so, though.
Yeah, they're a year away. I can see them making it to the second round.
They're young. They're a really young team.
Mm-hmm.
Tayshaun Prince. Tayshaun Prince kind of fell off, but
Tayshaun Prince?
I think he's still
in the NBA?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. That guy's timeless, man. I thought he was gone. You threw me off with that. Tayshaun Prince. Yeah, hopefully he gets some playing time. I love to see him. You know, he's a linky guy, too.
Yeah, they got actually a decent squad right there.
Yeah, that's not bad, man. You know, and I like to see those games. You know, it's funny. You know what makes the NBA still exciting? Those games, you know, that are not scripted. It's not every game is scripted.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Going back to the rigging and the scripted, I think there's some. If anything, there's some teams that are not taking that red pill.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's good.
They're getting the bad calls, and then that's why they're losing. They got the talent, but they don't have the buy-in from the NBA.
It's not their choice. It's not their choice. And I don't think it's too, like, you don't have to rig every game.
Yeah.
Only the teams that matter you have to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, like, you don't have to worry about all the mid-level teams or the low-level teams because they'll never, no matter how hard they try, they would never make it anyway. But then you just make sure that they don't make it by making sure that the teams you want there are getting what they need to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's true, and that's why they have to rig the draft and everything. See, they know these players from when they're kids. So by the time they're in the league, they know which players are going to be good enough to keep it afloat, meaning to get to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like, they know, okay, without rigging the games, this team is, like, the Spurs are going to be good enough to get to the playoffs. The Warriors are going to be good enough to get to the playoffs. You know, Boston has more years of it. They're going to be good enough to get to the playoffs. You know, you got the select teams that are just going to be good enough to make it.
But also, too, the one thing where it all being planned kind of falls apart is that if I was running the whole scheme in the NBA, I wouldn't pick Golden State and Cleveland to be my two teams.
Mm-hmm.
I would pick the Lakers, and I'd pick neither New York or the Celtics.
Well, it's coming back to that, though.
But listen. If I was running a scam, those would be my 3 markets. That's who I
To
would
make the most money.
Right. But the thing is, I think what it is they only control the games, and they think the league looks at, okay, who's good enough that we can make sure that they get there, and who can we pit them? And I think it is also too. They look at LeBron and they look at like the other superstars, and they try to do the whole superstar thing. You know what I mean? Like they try to match up the superstars. So this way, you get the most bang for the buck.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wonder if I can get a hold of him. There's a guy I played.
Who? Get a hold of who?
There was a guy I played against in high school. He was in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
So, Robert Swift.
Robert Swift. I know.
I played
Swift sounds familiar.
In high school. He was 7 foot. He came out of high school. Matter of fact.
So
he go to college.
Which NBA 2K was he?
He played for Seattle.
Was he an NBA 2K01?
Yeah.
He was. He
really was.
Oh wow. So yeah, that'd be cool, man. But back to the before we go, I wanted to talk a little bit about what we were talking about before. I'm gonna keep it short though. Get back into the music side of it, and the music side of it, and how everyone already knows that's scripted as well. Music is scripted. The people that are chosen are just to push things on the youth. And we spoke about that before. We spoke about it a lot. But me and your boy Chris was talking about something before we came on, and I completely forgot what we were saying. So, Chris, bring my memory, man.
We talked about a couple of things. What were we talking about? We talking about. I don't remember. What the hell were we talking about?
Oh, we were talking about what happened with Complex. We were talking about.
We're talking about the whole BET Joe Budden's thing,
Migos
Yachty thing.
Oh yeah, Lil Yachty. Yeah, we were going deep in on that, and you were talking, and you had some important things to say. But yeah, pretty much what we were saying. I remember now is how these young kids, you would think they have it all upstairs. You see them on the internet, and also they're starting drama on the computer, which I think is nuts. And that's my big thing when I want to go on. We're gonna go back to that. It's how these kids are starting problems on Twitter, and then after that they're going to kill people, and then they're getting caught like 5 days later. It's nuts. What you see the youth in this music, and it's what's pushed now on society. And these kids also like with situation.
Look at what's his name? Murder or whatever his name is.
Bobby Shmurda. That was a sad situation with him. Bobby Shmurda is actually, I've actually seen them over there. My cousin, his girlfriend, or his baby mother's brother, is the guy. They talk about in the song who actually got shot over there. His name's Pluto. I've actually seen him over there a couple of times in Brooklyn. They're from the 90s. I've been over there. I used to hang over there all the time. That's where Juve starts. The West Indian Day Parade. Juve starts on those back blocks over there. That part of the area of Brooklyn is nuts. What happened to Bobby Shmurda was unfortunate. The government definitely waited for him. They already had the evidence on him. What he did was a little bit different. He's more of like an old school guy, even though he was a new school rapper. He didn't believe in, talking about I'm going to come shoot you on Twitter, or showing guns on Facebook. you know, he maybe did guns with his hand, but he just got caught up in an unfortunate situation. You know, but also with like what Chris was talking about Yachty and how he didn't really understand the contract he's in, and he act like he did. He lied about it, but he really doesn't understand. You know, he just knows what money he gets and that's it. And you know, Joe Budden was trying to make it get the point across to these kids how they need to understand what kind of deal they're in. They need to understand the business more and not act like they do because their team is helping them. Because your team could still be ripping you off.
Yeah.
You know, the team could still be ripping you off.
When he was talking about signing, when Button was talking about is he in a 360 deal or not?
Exactly. And but you know what? Would you say?
He had no idea. Little Yachty had no idea.
Yeah, he has no idea. And this has to change because you have a couple of people that come up and that are smart. But then you have to think back in the days, it was worse. No one knew. These old school artists from the 90s and the 80s, they didn't know what kind of deals they were in.
No, they all got ripped off. But that's why all these old guys.
360 deal was back then.
All these older guys. Well, the deal was different. See, the 360 deal is really more now than back then, because back then, don't forget, back then they developed artists. Record labels only develop pop artists now for the most part. You know,
yeah.
So that 360 deal now makes sense for labels because they're like, yeah, we'll promote you, but we want a piece of everything. Back in the day, they didn't get a piece of everything.
Yeah, so it's funny. I'm gonna let you go. It's funny because artists wouldn't make any money on the album, but they would get cake on tour.
Right. They'd make pennies off their albums, but they would get the whole tour. The tour would be their money. But with this 360, you take a shit. If somebody's going to pay you to take a shit, you got to give the record label part of that money.
Yep.
They got you coming and going. But I thought it was just funny that, like, you know, the big thing with Little Yachty, and it's listen, I couldn't name one song the kid's ever done. You know, it ain't my thing. Like, I don't like that.
I checked him out, though, Chris.
I can't do it.
I checked him out. Okay.
You know, and I would, you know, basically what Joe Budden was really trying to do was just put this kid up like, you know, this kid is walking around trying to act like he's making a lot of money. He's doing big things. Nobody's doing what he's doing and how fast he's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody's saying, oh, Joe was an asshole or this, that. Joe was just trying to make the kid realize that, you know, there's people behind you pulling your strings.
Mm-hmm.
There's a puppet behind you, but you're acting like everything is your idea. Mm-hmm. Like it's you, it's your brand. Like, you know.
Yeah, that you're the business.
Yeah,
like, he was picking apart his album cover like there's no way you thought of that album cover. It has nothing to do with the music. Explain to me. You know, he was asking a lot of relevant questions because the kid was saying, like, labeling himself an outcast, and Joe's like, "How are you an outcast? Like,
Joe was in there.
How are you an outcast?" Yeah, Joe was like, "Tell me, how, you know, explain this to me," and this kid couldn't. But when Joe asked him about the 360 deal, that was the icing on the cake because the kid had no idea, but yet the kid's talking about how everything is his idea, how much money they're making, and it's like, yeah, but you're not. What's your deal? Like, if you're in a 360 deal, you're not making anything you think you're making. You know, these guys got you coming and going. And like Joe gave him credit for being able to get up in a Target commercial and a Sprite commercial, which is cool. But what the kid doesn't understand is it's not because he's him. It's because the people behind him pulling the strings put him there. Mm-hmm. That's what he needs to understand. He got put there. You know, it's nothing he did. That goes.
Yo, give me 1 second. I just got to switch. I'm gonna switch to my computer because my mic is messing up.
Oh yeah, take your time. Yeah, but that's so true, man. You know, it's a lot of these kids. Like, it was one kid. He was just I forgot. I think QC or 300 or something like that. Where they dropped his album, so that he jumps over to another label. And I'm like, okay, now what happened was, I forgot the guy's name. They didn't drop his album, right? The reason why they didn't drop his album was because it's not ready yet. You get what I'm saying? That's like me coming to you, right, Chris? And I say, yo, Chris, man, I got these 5 hot songs I'm gonna drop an EP, right? And nobody knows what the songs are, or people know what the songs are, but it's not like just completely viral to the point like I've had work before that. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And people just know me. Even though people know him, it's still a situation where, these companies know a lot of times. Like a lot of these new companies they're looking at streaming now, they're looking at all of that and they get more numbers because everything is computer now. It's not like before. Everything can be, taken account of now. So they're like,
Yes.
no, you're not ready.
It's not really about radio play or record sales anymore. It's about views on YouTube, Twitter following, Instagram following. They look at all that. Like if you popping, you know what I mean? Like they want to make sure they could push you.
Exactly. And a lot of artists don't understand that, so they jump from labels. And I'm like, oh, what are you doing?
Who was this again?
I forgot, some young kid. He has a bunch of young kids down with his team.
And what label was he on?
I think he was on 300 or something like that. And then
300.
Yeah, 300.
You talking about Chief Keef and them?
What happened?
Chief Keef?
No, not Chief Keef. I definitely know it was Chief Keef. No, it's another guy. I forgot his name. Because I don't know who these new rappers are. But
300 is Leroy Cohen's new thing.
Yeah, and I've heard that 300 only drops something when it's ready. So they hold a lot of people's music back. But then when it drops, it hits. So why not be patient and just keep pumping out music? You know what I'm saying? Keep getting music ready until it's time. Jump with a company that's going to put your album out tomorrow, then your album sells 10,000 copies the first week.
Well, the thing is, if you need a record label in 2017, that means your music ain't hot. Because with the internet, and like I said, with no middleman any longer, you can go straight to distribution through Spotify, iTunes. Like you have access to all those. Like you don't need nobody. You don't even need a manager. You just need yourself and your product.
It's funny. Pretty soon you can go right to YouTube because Leo Cohen is with YouTube.
Leo Cohen is a scheming bastard, but the thing is, I mean, I wouldn't get involved with 300 because Leo Cohen, he leaves every situation he goes, he screws up and he leaves. So
he left 300 quick.
So the thing is, you don't need a record label to get your music out there to sell music. You need a record. You need a label if you think your shit ain't that hot. And number two, you don't have a following. You need them to distribute your stuff for you. And then when you do that, you like you said, you then have to depend on them to say, okay, you're ready now. And you have to deal with that because they're giving you an advance. You know what I mean? Like they're giving you money that they have to recoup, but you have to then play with their terms. And not every artist, especially nowadays, in this microwave music time we're in, people don't sit on music any longer. Music lasts maybe a week, right? Seriously. Yeah. Majority of music that comes out now lasts a week if you're lucky because there's so much music coming out. It's so easy to put out now. The cost of production is so low. The standards of production are very low because it's more about like what's hot today within 24 hours because tomorrow there'll be something different. There's no standard for what anybody can make a song now, right?
You don't need an actual recording studio. You need a closet.
Not even that. You don't even need talent. You don't even need talent.
Yeah.
You just need a microphone and the ability to upload it, and that's it. You got a record. And the funny part is some of the most terrible songs that are just bad They work because the kids
Yep.
today are so dumbed down to what actually good music is that they
Well,
don't know.
it's just a beat. P City just said it's all about your beats. That's all it is. Like,
Mm-hmm.
And it
uh,
catch you hook.
uh,
And it catch you hook.
But you know what's funny though? I think that'd be a name of a good song, man. We call a song microwave music.
right?
You
My,
know,
my theory too of why like mumble rap or that style of rap music got so popular was because think about this. If you're into rap music, just say you're into rap music, and you listen to like real rap music, it's very hard for the average listener to listen to a rap song and get on that person's level lyrically, right? Like you listen to it and you kind of listen in amazement, like, yo, man, listen to that guy's wordplay, listen to his flow, listen to his cadence. You're impressed, right? You're impressed with how he twisted his words around this beat, right? And
Mhm.
how he tied his words together. But with mumble rap, there's no mystery. A 2-year-old could recite the mumble rap.
Mhm.
So I think people feel like they're part of it because it's so easy to redo. It's so easy. Like anybody could talk about oxys, you know what I mean? And Xanax. You know?
Percocets
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's so easy.
and
Like
Molly.
it's so
I
dumb.
came on a drive in, I took the Oxycontin.
Like they did I saw this study was done about a year ago. They took the last 20 years of music of the top Billboard top 100 songs for the last
Mhm.
20 years,
Mhm.
and they broke down the lyrical content by year. And every year,
Discoverers.
reading level, the reading level that you would have had to been at to understand the song, the words in the song, got lower and lower and lower. And we're at a third grade level as of last year. I
Mm.
think it's lower now. It's got to be lower.
Yo,
Man, I remember when I wanted to rap and I started rapping, I used to look at dictionaries, man. It was just so different back then. What were you gonna say?
when do you think we took that turn
Well,
Um,
in rap and hip hop? When do you think we
it
took
was in the
that turn?
'90s, man. In the '90s, late '80s.
what turn to front?
No,
Wait,
no, I'm saying the turn for the worst.
it, I wouldn't say the '90s was the golden era.
No, I'm
Uh,
talking about when with the negative rap. It started from that, and then it went into it went from there to gangster. Then after that, it just got completely killed. But you're talking about completely killed. I would say like around the early 2000s, right?
negative rap, negative rap would have been early '90s West Coast gangster rap would have been the
Yeah.
first real negative rap because
But,
before that it wasn't negative. But
no, no, it wasn't.
then there was like the resurgence of New York because then you had Nas, you had Jay-Z, you had Biggie, you know. So there was that resurgence in the '90s, and then the early 2000s was kind of weird, right? 2000s is a weird era for hip hop.
I mean,
It
and
was.
I was just thinking about that. You had the Cash Money first coming out.
You had Dre drop Chronic, right? You had you had the Snoop Dogg thing, but then like yeah, you had the No Limit, you had all these different things. You had Cash Money, then you had 2000 you had Eminem, right? You had Eminem, then you
That
had
kind of brought it back a little.
then in 2003 the world got hit with 50 Cent, and that was just whoa, okay, let's take hip hop back to the streets.
But then Lil
And
Jon came heavier. Well, you
Well,
know,
Little John was mingled in there the whole time, right? Because he was in there the whole time. Because you had Ludacris was in there, and then
yeah.
Yeah.
you
But
had
that's
all
when
that,
the South was spitting, though, except for Lil Jon. But you understood what he was saying.
right? Because
I understood every word.
South music was different. But then you had all that, and then you had I'm trying to think. You going. So you had, and the whole time you had Jay Z, right? The whole time you had
The whole
Jay Z.
time. The whole time.
He's popping in the whole time, dropping classic albums here and there, and then you had oh man, what was I gonna say?
When did the bubble rap come? It came before Future. He wasn't the first one doing it.
It's got to be like 2000.
Wow, when did the bubble rap
2011,
start?
2010.
But Future's first album wasn't Mumble.
No, he had to. He had to dumb it down.
Future did Tony Montana. That was his first big song, Tony Montana. Remember?
No, well, he had well, see, when I got turned on to Future, it was Magic.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
first one I remember is Tony
with Ti.
Montana. You know what's
Oh.
funny? This is how I used to sing that song. I just went and cut the Porsche. Tony Montana. Tony Montana. Tony. I can't lie. That's how they get you. Right? It makes sense because he's talking about living life like Tony Montana, right? But he's not really saying anything.
Yeah.
But that catchy cadence and that hook is what did it. And when I first heard that song, I said, this guy's going places.
You know what the other song?
He had me bopping. And that's the thing, they get all of us with some of this nonsense. Some of the stuff you listen to and you're like, yo, this is horrible, but I like it.
You know where I think rap music, this current generation kind of switched, and I'm not talking really the mumble rap, but it kind of led into the whole mumble rap, Kanye West. Because I was just thinking, like, you think about this, right? Like Kanye, he was around in the early 2000s, but like he did College Dropout, but that was a hip hop album, right? And he's there, he's lingering, and then he does what do you call it? Shit. The album. Oh man, what was the other album?
808 Heart
Oh, the one before that. One with
Twisted Dark Twisted Fantasy or something like that.
The one that had one like Faster, Stronger. That had all that song. Had all that stuff on it. And wasn't Power on? No, Power was after. Power was after 808 and Heartbreaks. So yeah, 808 and Heartbreaks was like that predated mumble rap, because remember that whole album was like auto-tuned, right? It was all 808s and auto-tuned, and it was a darker album. It was much more like pressing sounding, and then you had this little bit of lull, but then like in that lull you got Gucci Man, you had Young Jeezy, you know, you had all that whole thing. And then all of a sudden mumble rap just came in. You know, like trap and then mumble rap.
See, okay, look at P City says, yeah, Future started off with strip club music, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was his. It was songs for the strip club, and that's the same thing. That's the same thing with Yin Yang Twins. They strip club, and I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out where it came. I think Future, he's really the first one. I'm trying to think who else was doing it around that time before Future. That's what I can't figure out.
2 Chains, but he was doing more like just
his
trapping.
Was a mumble though. Yeah, his was trapping more.
Trap.
Oh man, I can't think. Do we give it to Future? I don't know. I don't know.
Because, you know, Gucci Man wasn't mumble rap. You just couldn't understand him.
Yeah, well, Gucci Man I could understand because he spoke slow and he didn't try to mumble. He just sounded like that.
he just sounded like he was
retarded. Well, he was on lean when he did a song, so he sounded like he was always on lean. I never took him from mumble rap.
Yo, I just did a search on mumble rap right now. Why? Nah, they're losing it for me. Wikipedia is saying Daz Effects and the Fushniks were the earliest like mumble rappers.
You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah,
I didn't know what they were saying, but I looked it up and learned it.
Yeah, I
wanted
Daz Effects, man.
Nah, that wasn't mumble rap. That wasn't mumble rap because they were saying something. You couldn't understand them. That was all. It's different. This mumble rap, they slur out half a word because they're coming in with the heavy country accent, and then they're on a handful of Percocets mixed with lean, right? And then they go to the track and like, and their lips are numb. Don't that lean like make your body numb a little bit?
Oh yeah, slow your whole body down.
Yeah, so they think about
breathing down everything.
Think about what Future talking about. Talking about popping Percocets and drinking lean, right? So imagine how you're gonna sound on some Percocets and some lean. You're drinking, pop 4 pills, So you can be like, I was at, no. It's the drug use, man. So that's what it's promoting. So everybody now, to get up before they go get the mic, if they want that future sound, all you gotta do is pop some Percocets and drink some lean. If we all did that right now, right? And if we had somebody to record us, we all would sound like Future.
You gotta have your auto tune settings right, and you're all good.
Yep.
Exactly.
Gotta get that reverb going.
They're like, oh, is that Future? And then Jason goes, is that Future? It's sad, man. It's most drug use.
You know what the prime example that is duplicated? You can duplicate his sound. Designer with Panda.
Oh yeah.
He basically duplicated Future.
Yeah. Yo, it tripped me out because when I first heard Designer, I was like, "Oh, Future, okay, Future got a hot new song out, okay." Yeah. And then it was like, Designer, what the hell is Designer?
It's weird, man. It's really weird. You know, like it's so. I don't know. Like that was a big controversy because like biting somebody else's style in hip hop is kind of, you know, it's kind of forbidden. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then for a New Yorker to like jump on that style, it's kind of another forbidden thing.
Yeah, designers from New York. That's right. Designers from New York.
But the thing was, it's all about money at the end of the day. That's what it is, you know. And the fact that like Kanye signed him off of one song, there's so many weird things about that whole get up. But
what has he done since?
He had some good music. It just didn't hit like Panda. So it's killing him. That one big song. But he had other good songs. They were good.
Here's the problem with. Yeah, it's hard to reduplicate such a huge success. But the thing, you know what the problem with Designer is, you know, he's working with some of the best producers in the world. And if you can't come back with another hit, like a year. Yeah, I mean, he's working with Mike Dean. I mean, that's Kanye's right hand. Like, you know, this dude was Scarface's right hand. You know what I mean? Like, this dude's been with everybody. Like, if he can't get you popping, I don't know who can.
Yeah. Hold up. Have you guys heard of this dude? You guys heard of Fresher? That Fresher song?
Yeah, he's from New York too. He's from Brooklyn.
Yeah. I like that song a lot. I actually just heard it last week. And then I heard the energy on there. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
What's funny?
Hold up, wait a minute.
What's funny about that song is I don't consider that song to be like a southern mumble rap song.
Me neither.
Like Designer totally ripped off Future. But that Pressure song from Fresher,
that song was like get in the club, start fighting somebody.
The problem for him though is how does he create more music without having to copy his own himself, you know, reduplicating songs, because he's in a couple other songs like doing hooks and stuff, and it's that whole same vibe, and it's kind of like you can't do that. Now everybody listen. It's cool to wake up to that music, get you going, but like like when you're trying to go to bed, do you really want to rock out to that guy? Like, no, man. You know what I mean? Like, I want to hear some lyrical content. You know what I mean?
I'm not promoting drug use, but there's a lot of guys that smoke weed and they want to chill, or they just relaxing, you know. And wait a minute, what you gonna say, man?
Speaking of like lyrical content, what you guys think about that new Big Boy?
I have not heard it.
Oh man, Kill Jill.
But that's Big Boy though.
Just look up the song Kill Jill. It has Killer Mike.
Yeah, I heard that song.
Man,
I think he might be getting sued for that beat because that sample that's in that song is a sample of another song. Like that song's been sampled twice, so they sampled the person who sampled it. So they didn't even sample the original; they sampled the person who chopped it the first time, which is really weird. I read this whole article about it, like maybe a month ago.
I thought that song is actually, I want to say, is from
it's from an anime thing.
Well, he's a a Japanese artist.
Yeah, but somebody.
But he's in the video. That Japanese artist that actually did that track, he's actually in the video.
Yeah, but the track that they used is actually a sample, a rechopped sample of that was done by somebody else. So it's the guy's original music, but they used a version of it that somebody else already sampled and rechopped. So that person is going after them because they want their credit. Because even though it's their original music, they used a version that wasn't, it was redone by somebody else. So that person wants their credit. I mean, why not? I mean, might as well get your credit if you put some work in.
Yeah, I gotta find those dudes. You guys remember those Japanese dudes that had that one hit song? And it was on social media everywhere. And they had the one smooth dude that came on the track. He came on the track like, arigato, arigato. Y'all remember that song?
No.
Are you talking about oh man,
You know the song, Jason.
they did it. They did a concert here in town. Oh,
Yeah, that's my jam right there. I don't even know what they were saying. That song was hitting them.
The clubby style music? Like what is it?
No, it's like rap. It's real like hip hop. And with the one dude though, I gotta find out who that is. I'm gonna look it up. Because the one dude that came on the guy, they got dogs like, yo, this guy need to be by himself. Because other dudes were like all hypey and they were cool, but this dude, like I could see him do music with people in the US. Because he came on with that smooth guy, they got dog, and I'm also see me in my new shows, little kicks.
P City said Gundam style. Ha, he's clowning.
Gangnam style? Gangnam style, nah, man. I know somebody knows. But anyway, yeah, we just let that be that.
Oh man, what is it? Okay, let me see. You're not talking about the Teriyaki Boys? Not talking about them.
Teriyaki Boys.
Teriyaki Boys was with Pharrell and them. And they said they had that song on
Let me see.
They had that song on the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. What was that group that had a song G6?
Oh, Far East Movement?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see. Arigato, Japanese trap music. Oh yeah, I found it. It's Keith Ape. Jima, no. Hold on. It's Keith. It's this guy's name.
Never forget. Bobo and Toke, what's the Luna? I call that so that time.
Y'all hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's killing it. Arigato.
No, you know who that reminds me of?
Yeah, that dude is nice. He the best one, man.
You know who that reminds me of? Y'all heard of Rich Trigger?
Yeah, Rich Trigger. Yep. I was telling them. Now, P City, that's not mumble rap, man. That dude is going in. You know it's not mumble rap because he's speaking with such cadence and you can hear everything he's saying. You know what I mean? I know if I had somebody translate that for me, I'd be like, oh wow, he's saying that. And I think I am Japanese trap music. I'll definitely be looking for that dude. He's a Chinese mumble rap. Oh man, but yeah, man, it's Rich Trigger. It's called That Stick.
Yeah, that stick.
Yeah, that I like that joint a lot too.
Yeah, what do you call it? Ghostface got on that one.
Yeah, they had to, man. I seen the video. They was watching the. Oh yeah, that's true. We mumbling. Note them because we don't know the words. We don't know what he's saying. But yeah, Rich Trigger. I like that song a lot, and that's the reason why Ghostface and I'm like it. The gold is in there with a pink shirt, right? Some tan shorts and a fanny pack.
Yep.
and he's doing like gun references. It's hilarious, man. But obviously he's down here somewhere in Southeast Asia, you know, and it does go down in some of these countries.
Mm-hmm.
So he might be toting guns. We don't know.
Japan has a huge market for rap.
Mm-hmm. It does, man. And I definitely would like to go visit and see some stuff over there one day. As far as like the culture, I want to go. I still didn't go to the battle rap thing, your boy Chris.
You gotta check. Yeah, you gotta check that out.
Yeah, man, I gotta check out the battle. Yeah, you know they have a battle rap league down here, right, Jason?
Nah, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't know that?
Nah.
Flip top.
Flip top. Yeah, just Google. Just go on YouTube and do flip top. There's what's the name of that one channel? It's got like 1 million subscribers. That does
Flip top battles. Flip top battles.
Just check out
that. Smack?
It's like Smack, but he's way more trending. They way more trending than Smack, man.
Yeah, like, it's most like the battles like in the venues, and it's like it's much brighter. It's not like dark and like, you know, they film it from a different angle. They usually film it from like right in the damn people's faces and shit as they're battling. Yeah. Pretty crazy. It's very well done. You don't understand them, but it's very well done.
Yeah, man, and like they got a this is how well they're doing on their YouTube. I forgot when Chris said they was making like what 400,000 a month.
It was something. Yeah, you guys. It was something ridiculous they were making.
They're making like 400,000 a month, right? So they can get all their money from YouTube.
No, I don't think they were making that much. They were making 90,000 if I remember correctly. I know it was a couple months ago. We looked at
that's actually still. I mean, when you talk about the conversion,
Philippines, the conversion is nuts.
Yeah,
and then that means they got enough money to pay the rappers to battle. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, everything and rent out these arenas.
Shit, they can buy the arena instead of renting it.
Exactly. Which I wouldn't doubt if they haven't done that already. These little big, it's like a big factory here, and with the money they're getting, they can afford that.
I mean, they're definitely making some good money because the quality is excellent.
Is it in Manila or?
Yeah, they have it all around Manila. Yep, they have it. Yep, San Juan. The last one 4 months ago, or I think it was one after that. I'm gonna go to one so I can get it for you guys. Was in San Juan Gym and San Juan City, Metro Manila, which is maybe what 30 minutes for me.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna be in Iloilo in September.
Yeah, what you do is look up and see when one is, and before you go out there, definitely check out a flip top battle, man. You won't know what they're saying, but if you have like someone that speaks Tagalog with you,
I can understand a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can say some things, but yeah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, look, their last battle. This battle was 4 months ago, right? This was a battle 4 months ago. Shay Yi versus Cineo. They did a video 4 months ago. They got 17 million views.
Bro, they got 2.1 million subscribers.
Yeah,
it's growing.
But Smack has been out longer than them, and has like what 700,000 subscribers.
Yeah, but not everybody in the hood.
I mean,
everybody in the hood has a.
Well, that too, but I mean, honestly, that whole Smack TV is kind of clowning, man. Like I don't know, like they.
Different era too.
Yeah.
It is a different era.
That was a DVD era. Flip top thing is straight to internet.
Straight to internet, man, and they're pulling it in with these battles. I mean, these battles are sick. As far as and then Filipino fans are loyal.
Yeah, plus too, you got to think about it like it's an emerging culture for the Philippines. Like if you think about like say Japan and the hip hop culture, it's been around a long time.
Yes, yeah.
And they idolize that kind of culture, and that's why like groups like Wu-Tang and stuff, they could go there, and it's like when they get there, it's like.
Yo,
right. Now think about this, guys. I'm gonna let you go, Jason. Now take a look at this and take a look at these guys are really the only ones doing it, right? And now think opportunity in your head. And just see the different opportunities out here that rappers can have, that you can have being out here in the hip hop industry, which everyone thinks they need to try to blow in the US. Exactly what I was talking about before.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
You don't.
You don't. I can get something started here right now and get it popping with hip hop. Because it's more of a lane. You get what I'm saying? There's no lane in it in the US. You can go talk to some DJs here more easier.
It's all about too, you know, it's really about networking and finding out the radio stations there, like how is it for you to give them music that they'll play on the air, like it was back in the day, where it is still down south in certain places where like you can go to the radio station, give them a couple of bucks, and they'll play, you know, whatever you give them. Like, if that's available out there, you could break artists. Like you could really do a lot.
No, it is out there. It is out there, man. There's other. I've seen other YouTubers. Just I can't remember the guy's name, the radio station's name, and the DJ there. But like, it's just a YouTuber that just went there. He's a white guy, just went there and was just on the radio station talking. And he just barely hit. What did he have? I think he just hit 14,000 subscribers.
See what I'm saying?
That the thing is, like, that is such a great way to, like, if you could figure out the whole entire network and like make a plan and have a little bit of cash to like make it all work, you could really build.
You don't even need that much cash. We're gonna talk, man. We're gonna talk. You don't need much cash. We gotta talk about cash,
and if anybody, hey, I'm gonna put it out there like this too. If anybody out there that needs business, like the way to move in business, that's what I came from. I worked for JP. I was a business banker for JP Morgan Chase for years.
And that's what I be talking about when I talk about opportunities in other countries. You have to look at what the country's missing that you have in your country. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, every country has it. But what is it missing? What is in my country that can affect cultures that they don't have here? You know what I'm saying? And then, boom.
Jay, it's like I always ask you, what's lasting on the radio there right now when it comes to rap music? What are they playing? Are they playing
trap music? They're playing the same stuff that's in the U.S.
Right. Or they play right? Exactly what I was asked. Are they playing what's in the U.S.?
Rap music spin on it. I mean,
hold up.
You haven't?
Jay, are they still behind though? Because when I was back in 2010 when I was in there, they was like way behind.
No, not that much. Not by that much. What happens is the popular radio stations, they still are bought. They're bought by the same people that buy the radio stations in New York. But you have other radio stations, which are a lot of them, that they're still bought, but you can still get your way in there. You know what I'm saying? You can still get your way in there because it's a lot easier. It's not totally controlled by that big corporate bubble. It's no way they can because they're not physically in the country. You know what I'm saying? It's no way they really fully can control it because the station still has to cater to the people that are in the country. So
if they're pumping trap music there, then you get a bunch of like not up and coming, but you get some trap artists that are not known in America. You get them, you promote their music there. You never know, it takes off. You know what I mean? Or say like they're listening to boom bap, they listen to that 90s era.
Some of them do.
You get some New York artists who are still making that type of music, promote them there. You know, people might like it. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you this, right? Think about Flip Top, and that's why I like Flip Top. You can look at Flip Top and see all the people in the crowd. That's your boom bap audience in the Philippines. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now the 2 million people that are subscribed to this channel, they obviously like some kind of boom bap. They like something with some kind of substance. You get what I'm saying? Because they're watching battle rap. So then you think, A lot of these people may not understand English fully, but Jason, you know this, Chris, you know this. They understand it when they hear it in music to see the movies, though. You know,
they understand rhythm.
Yeah, they understand.
Yeah.
And also they understand what they feel. So, you know, and it's not just the Philippines, it's all these Asian countries. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, man, like I was talking about in Japan, yo, like the culture, the hip hop culture in Japan is crazy. These Japanese females are going out getting tans so they can look black, getting their hair braided with extensions.
I love it. I love it. I see it all the time.
I'm like,
in China, they do this in places in China too, man.
Yeah, I was like, yo, that's nuts.
It bugs me out because in here you have people, not everyone, you have a lot of people that are trying to be more white. But in places like that, like you said in Japan, you know, it's just like in the US, right, Chris? You got everybody that wants to have some tan color on.
Well, in Japan, they have people that are trying to get whiter too, and they're a whiter skin culture.
I know, but I'm saying though, it's like, it's just crazy, man. But in the US, though, you can a lot more. A lot of people are trying to get darker.
Yeah. Japan, they have they're very obsessive about certain types of things, like hip hop's one of them.
Yeah, they are.
But I want to mention something, if it's all right, on the whole hip hop thing.
Yeah.
All right, so I noticed that when marketing digital brands that have nothing to do with hip hop, what will happen is instead of kind of like with your podcast or other venues such as this, what ends up happening is you find other people that are in that business, in the same business, but in another country, and then you link up with them, and then you're able to be able to ride on like their clout. So the whole point of the reason why I'm saying this, you know, sometimes here in America, you'll find good, talented people doing music, but they just don't have the exposure.
Mm-hmm.
But if they were in another country with that same talent, people are like, oh my God, these people are just off the chain.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in a country like the Philippines where it's so inexpensive, so cheap to be able to get things done, why not link up with motivated, responsible individuals from a first world country, use some American money, and be able to have them link up and be able to pay for them to be able to do like a little mini tour with people that's in a third world country that have popularity, that have the reputation, and get it to where they can start building up, you know, the American or the first world country, the British or whatever, can be able to build up the reputation through the you know, the stream, I'd say the revenue stream, but through the reputation of the person in the third world country. Is what I'm saying make sense?
Oh, you know, yeah, it makes. I think that's everything we're talking about too. All in a nutshell. That's what it's about.
With just $1,000, you know, it may not sound like big money, but if you go ahead and you book a trip to the Philippines in advance, like 2 or 3 months in advance, you can get a round trip ticket economy for $600-700. So now you have this American artist or 2 American artists. You have like about $1,400-1,500 invested in getting them to the Philippines. Then you go ahead and you book rooms and all that stuff for them. And you go ahead and you find the local artists that are already popping, and you get those local artists, regardless of the radio,
to do the show with them.
Yeah, to chill with them and work with them. Go ahead and pay for some studio time there. Let them go and, you know, guide them on what's trending, because you already know that they're following what's trending from America. So guide them on what's trending and mix it in, whether it be in Bali, the Philippines, China, whatever. I just feel that maybe a group of people should start investing in that and not looking for a quick, you know, gain on the front end, but more so looking at a gain in the back end, like being able to control the YouTube channel that all the subscribers. So let's say you had like individuals that, you know, invested and had the YouTube channel that sponsored the young people from both America and the third world countries. And then they started, you know, doing things like creating the logos to be able to be screen printed on the shirts. So instead of having the shirts being screen printed in a third world country and being shipped to America or vice versa, just as long as you have the graphics, they can be able to, you know, sell in their own country and get the product reproduced in their own country. It's like marketing and branding. The point is I think that there's so much money to be made if people can organize their thoughts. on this and bypass radio. You could do this with Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, that's the way it should be done.
Well,
But yeah, we're definitely gonna go into it. We're gonna go into it a lot deeper. You know, we all four of us are definitely gonna talk, and me and your boy Chris always talks. So yeah, we'll definitely get into deeper details. You know, because this is something that is very, very golden. You know, yeah, and you know, it's something we can all work out off chat, which is definitely no, but no, definitely, man, that'll definitely work because what you're doing is you're connecting markets. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, well, see, and Jay, you know, another thing too, just to add on what he was saying is you got these countries like in the Philippines. The Philippines is really, really, really tight knit, really tight knit. So if they got something like this artist, everybody's going to hear about it.
Yep.
It's going to get blasted because I mean, look how many Philippine YouTubers there are Americans that are in the Philippines that are vlogging and stuff like that are really that they have that platform and they're taking off.
They came to the Philippines to take off. They weren't even born there. They knew it because I break it down, Jason. I break it down to Jay like this all the time. Is that in America, Jay would be a small fish in a huge ocean, but
that's what I'm saying.
In the Philippines, he gets to go there, and he's a small fish in a small pond, and he can make his way better doing what he's doing. If he was trying to do what he's doing, we have like 4,400 subs. If he was in America, he'd be lucky if he had 1,000 by now. If that. The opportunity to grow is much better.
Exactly.
Yeah, y'all need to make another chat about this because I got so much information on that. Just me alone, like you said about the big fish in a small pond versus small fish in a big pond. I'm a teacher here in America, but the programs and things like that, it's like I don't get a lot of support here in America. But in Olympic Bukit Line, I got an entire college that's letting me use their school, the entire college, their school for a training facility and a call center and a facility for me to be able to have my students do OJT but get paid. So everybody else is just doing OJT but not paying them. My students, whenever they do OJT, they get paid and I pay the school. So it's like, you just don't understand. It's so easy to do work in the Philippines. They're so inviting and friendly and they see the big picture as opposed to pitching that same thing to the University of Lamar in Port Arthur and Beaumont, Texas, or Grambling. It's like nobody wants to work with you when you're the small guy out here, but out there, just me being American and having some logical ideas. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. You get what I'm saying?
No, but it's true. No, I get what you're saying because what happens is, you know, they look at you, they say, okay, you know what, this is an intelligent guy, and they're listening already to you like they're going to make sense. You understand? So if somebody's listening to you saying this is going to make sense, they can hear it better. You know, and they hear you and they're listening.
They don't even treat me like I'm a Black American, but in America, Black American means you know, like it's looked at. You're a Black American, but in the Philippines, I'm just looked at as just a web developer, an intelligent businessman. That's it. They're not looking at my skin, and it's so.
Yeah.
What's the word I'm looking for? Like it feels so free, so not invigorating. You know what I'm trying to say? It just feels so refreshing.
Yeah, Philippines is beautiful for that, man. You know, and that's the thing too. I was gonna get into that later today actually, but we had my boy Eddie didn't come online, and we were gonna talk about business, but I didn't want to go too. How can I say? I didn't want to have a long chat on business, but we talking about it now. That's what we talking about. It just so happened that we were talking about the music business, and I'm kind of happy the conversation led to that because. You know, it just expands your mind more. You know, that's why I love talking with your boy Chris. We try to speak once a week just to talk about different things, you know? Like say we'll talk after the podcast or before the podcast just about what's going on, you know, with music, with life, everything. And it's good just to keep your mind open.
But you know, it doesn't even have to be just on the music side. Like it can be a whole it can be a whole entertainment system. Not even just the entertainment system, but it could be. I mean, you could get it into sports. You can get it into a lot of things, like a whole management and like to where you're handling everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's completely doable. And a lot of people here in the U.S. that are not that might have the talent, but like he was saying, doesn't have that platform. And that platform in the Philippines is a lot bigger, and it's easier to jump off that platform too.
It is. I tell people all the time. I say, America, what, 300 something million, 365, maybe a little more. Philippines, over 120 million on a small island. So think about it. Maybe you can get more people in one country that's a little bit smaller in number, but you can get more people to listen to you there. What are you going to choose? You know what I'm saying? Out of that 365 million, there's what, 1 billion people in China?
No, Philippines doesn't even have 100 million.
No, it does. It has 150 million.
Population as of 2015 is 100,900,000.
Well, that's 2015.
It's only 2017. You didn't triple the population.
Population. Well, that's not triple. You just said 100 million and 9,000, and they're having a lot of babies out here.
Oh, it's 100 million. Calm down.
100 million.
Yeah, so still, I only said 120.
The U.S. is 320.
Yeah,
that's without illegals. So you got to figure at least another 40 million.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, that's true.
Another 40 million.
Yeah, actually, I was wrong. Yeah, right. The U.S. is 326. Philippines is 100 and almost 4 million. But still, the numbers still make sense. You know, out of that 300 million, but maybe a couple of friends and family will listen to you when you get started. As to where if you do it right in another country, you know, to where you can look at Indonesia, 263 million. That's competing with the U.S., you know. Then after that, you look at Vietnam, that's over here. You look at China. I don't want to look at that. That's crazy.
Well, see, the thing with like Indonesia's more
Indonesia's crazy from what I heard.
Well, you got a big house following there. You got a lot of house music, a lot of electric music. Because there's a lot of festivals that go there.
I bet. And they have the number 4 population in the world.
And they have, with those music festivals, they have like big names, like the big DJs, the big house DJs, big electronic DJs. Like they go to Indonesia and have those 3-day festivals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and those things make they make a lot of money, man. Because you know what's funny? That's they have EDM there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the big thing, man. Everybody is electronic dance. Everybody, Waka's doing it now. Everybody's doing that because it brings out those big pack house crowds.
Yeah, I mean, you got David Guetta playing there. You got in Indonesia. It's like, whoa, and like the whole like rap is really not that big as the electric music.
But that's funny because you know, that's the thing. If you start something out, I mean, who in the world wants nothing but rappers, man?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, not to offend anybody, rappers can be some of the laziest people in the world.
Well, so rap technically is really only big in America and certain parts of Europe, like pockets of Europe. And in Europe, they only like old school rap. You know, they don't really care for new shit.
Yeah.
But EDM, electronic dance music, house music, well, it all stems from house, but like that's global. That's worldwide because everybody can understand that rhythm.
Yeah.
You might not like it because you're too old to like it, but like everybody understands that rhythm. So like it's so universal. And that's why a lot of rappers, especially a lot of Southern rappers are getting involved with a lot of the EDM because EDM has their own version of trap. You know, they took trap and they changed it a little bit. So a lot of these guys like even Metro Boomin, he played at He played at the last festival in Vegas last week. EDC, it's called.
Mhm.
He played there. DJ Khaled was there. Like, they're kind of fusing in because they know it's another market. You know what I mean? It's a whole nother market. And these guys are remixing some of their songs. So, got to go where the money is.
Yeah, Metro Boomin is big in the culture, man. And, you know, I hear this guy starting his own record label, and I'm like, smart kid. Think about it. If he's the one that's giving you all everyone their sound, right? Why don't you start your own record label? You know, you have your own artists and give them their sound that way.
You really don't have your own record label.
Yeah, I know.
You just a name. You still have a distributor, which is the main big record label, whatever you sign to. It's just
Yeah, but he gets more points on it though.
he gets a cut of the money. He's getting a chunk of it, and he gets to pick whoever he wants. So he gets to be a tastemaker more than just being a producer. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he gets to say, this is the style of music and artist I want to push.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. There's a lot. Man, remember back in the mid '90s when late '90s, everybody was getting their own subsidiary in a record label, right? Some of them panned out, a lot of them didn't.
Yeah, a lot of them one way. Look at Nelly's.
Yeah, they were all signing their friends. You know, the whole theory, you know, how like, oh, everybody works for me. I get on. Once I get on, I bring the rest of you guys up.
Mm-hmm.
Look at 50 Cent with G Unit. That's a prime example.
Yeah.
Look how big 50 was when he did the whole G Unit label, and that went nowhere. And he was huge because nobody cared about anybody else.
What do you call had like one song? What's the name? Young Buck had that like one song. And
yeah,
then,
I know. Yeah, he had the one song, and
then Lloyd Banks had that one song.
Yeah, well, Lloyd, you know, it's
Actually,
funny.
two.
Lloyd Banks, he always stayed working with the mixtape scene, but
Yeah,
he was a New York artist through and through, and that was about it.
Man, he was a New York artist to the core. You know, he could have transitioned as far as with his flow.
he was like old school New York though.
Yeah, he was.
He still is.
People like that though. That's the thing. What happens?
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, hell, I grew up with it.
People don't understand. Even nowadays, it can work.
Oh, listen. Well, here's another thing. You got to remember something about Lloyd Banks and why he could stay true. He didn't need the money. 50 made him rich.
Yeah.
You don't need that money. You don't got to sell out. 50 made him rich, so why should we bother selling out?
Very true. You know, going back to what you were saying, Chris, is like getting that platform and pushing the artists out there, like in the Philippines and whatnot. The only a hurdle I would see that happening is visa status.
Yeah, that'd be a working visa.
Right.
Yeah, because they got to get their money here.
Yeah.
What's the working visa there? Like a year? Like a lot of countries know, like a working visa is like 6 months or a year or some crap like that.
I don't know.
There. That's what I don't know.
I don't know.
It might be a 6 month. Because I know a lot of the OFWs, they go 6 months or a year.
Oh, you mean the person has to get a working visa? Like,
yeah.
Say I would have to get one.
Yeah.
Well, no, I can run a business through my wife.
But I'm saying the actual artist himself. Yeah. The artist or the entertainer would have to get a working visa.
When they come into the country, they have to declare that they're there for work.
Yeah.
But that can be worked out. I'm sure they have express ones too, because you know how these what do you call it? What's the name does? These big time guys that are traveling to Europe, you know, for tours. I'm sure they have that all worked out. So I'm sure it's an easier way to do it, you know, for like someone that's a traveling artist. I just gotta look into it, man.
Yeah, I don't think it should, because I mean a lot of look at all these guys that actually went through the Europe scene and everything. I mean, Eminem was in the Europe scene.
Yeah, and I don't think they get working visas when they go.
They have to.
They have to.
They're there for work. They're not there for. They're not visit. They're not tour. They're not on vacation. They're working.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna look into that.
It's a different fee. They just got to pay taxes or fees or whatever they're on.
Yeah, I wonder how it is, because I mean that's the only thing that I would see it being a small hurdle. But everything else, I mean, with the way the social media is, I mean, even getting somebody somehow linked to the flip top.
Yeah, that's all money. You know what I mean? It's one hand washes the other. That will never change.
You know, like Jason, me and Jay, we've been talking about this stuff since before he even started this YouTube channel, about how like everything is so much easier. Everything that he ever wanted to do here, or we ever wanted to do here with other people as well, he could do it over there at such much easier, because I look at it as here in America, you have to treat every door as closed. There, every door is cracked open. And I always say, like, him being American and being a New Yorker too, and having that pace, he goes over there, and it's kind of like he's seeing things. He's already saw it with a little slow. That's why I say a lot of those YouTubers that are part Filipino, that were American, that wanted to get a YouTube off, they came to the Philippines because they knew how much easier it would be. Like, they saw it, you know, they knew exactly what they had to do when they got there, and they took advantage of it, you know. I tell Jay, I said, you could do the same thing. Like, you could do all that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. And I see it, you know, when I had a recent surge in my subscribers, my eyes really opened. I said, okay, now I see.
Yeah, it trips me out, man. I was just looking at it because I think when I first started when I subscribed to you, I don't think it was at what is that right now?
No, it jumped up like around 2000. How long, Chris? Like a month and a half, a month? Something like a month and a half.
Month and a half ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
I was like,
and I seen, but you know, you gotta love it, man. That's why I love the Filipino people. You know, they'll support you or they'll kill you.
oh yeah, I mean,
you're getting on between, man. You're getting on between.
I've seen the very toxic side of vloggers in the Philippines, and that hate. I was like, man, that thing is ugly. It is ugly.
Yeah, they live for it. A lot of those guys live for that hate, man. Crazy.
Ugly. And I'm talking about people. I've seen people get their whole channel shut down.
Peter just got his shut down, apparently.
Yeah, well, he's back. I mean, I wasn't trying to say no names on it, but yeah.
That's all right. Peter don't ain't got no beef for him over here.
Peter's got multiple like new ones now. He's starting up doing different like.
He's trying to change it up. He's trying to stop the violence, man. The beef. You know, it doesn't work. It just doesn't, man.
You know what I find funny, and I know like if any of them are listening, they're probably gonna get mad that I mentioned this, but like I find it funny, like there's like groups of people that band together that try to bring other people down. Like they waste their time. Like instead of building up their channel and like just like living life and enjoying their life and enjoying their new experiences, they like spend all their time trying to bring other people down that are there trying to do the same thing as they would want to do, like enjoying life. Like, nah, let's destroy this. It's like, what are you wasting your time for, man? Like,
see, and that's what I mean. I'm gonna be getting my channel getting going, and I want to be associated with positive people. I ain't trying to get in that drama or nothing else like that, but you don't. All that stuff is toxic, man.
Yeah, it is.
It weigh you down, man. It just kills your vibe.
Yeah.
Because then you feel compelled to have to like fight back, but then you realize there's no point. Just moving your own.
Yeah, man, I'm happy I don't have it in me. Like me, I'm the type of guy, I don't have it in me to be going back and forth with someone. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you said this about me, okay. Like even with comments, I'm not gonna sit there and go back and forth with someone like type. Oh, everybody's hating me. Like I'm not 5 years old, you know what I'm saying? And I don't mean that to try to shut anyone out, like, oh, people commenting for nothing, but I'm talking about the anger, you know?
And see, with me, I'm like, let's talk let's talk it out. If you disagree with me on something, let's talk it out and let's do a Google Hangout. Let's do a podcast. Let's talk it out.
Oh no, you can't do that. You get
Nah.
attacked. They'll have some weapons for you, man. Because he said he's gonna fight on a hangout. They'll be waiting right there. They'll turn the camera on. I have a gun at you, but it's not a physical gun. It's an attack. Remember this? Remember that? Remember you said this? Jason, you be like this. You be like this. You be like, oh man, what happened? You sick?
Jason, you've seen it. If you've seen these channels, there are dudes who don't even have channels, but all they do is they cling on to certain hate channels and they go around and they troll everybody else.
Yes.
Like that's what they do. They spend so much time, because I can go to different videos and I'll see them all up in there fighting with each other, and you could tell which ones are together. And you sit there going, man, these dudes must put so much time and effort into hating on people that they must have no lives. Like they literally must have no joy in life because they spend so much time.
That's their job, though. That's
hating
their
on
job. Even though they're not getting paid on it, that's their job in life.
No, you know what it is? It goes back to a song that we made called Digital Drama. You remember your boy Chris? Where it talks about like the people behind the computers who never show their face, because that's not the whole point of the digital drama. It's fun to them. I see what they get out of it a little bit. I don't think it's right. I think it's fun.
It's one thing. Listen, it's one thing, Jay, if like they take 10 minutes and they make something really funny and they get a bunch of likes out of it and they trolled somebody. But these dudes are putting hours in per day. Hours. To me, that's not normal. That's not healthy.
Yeah.
Especially when the people they're trashing aren't even replying back to them. Like they win. If that person didn't reply back to you, you lost, dude. Like you just wasted 10 minutes trolling somebody and they never replied back. You lost.
But they're associated. But like you were saying, they're associated with all these other websites and all these other channels. And if they didn't respond, they didn't get a rise out of somebody on this one, they're gonna jump over to the next one.
Yeah, that's so trying.
It's like did they really lose? Like, yeah, they lost. They might have lost that 1 second, but
it all depends. It all depends if somebody buys into it and answers back. Like the minute somebody gives them life, then they're winning.
Yeah.
If nobody gives them life, then they're just talking to themselves and they're screwed up friends that are wasting time just like them. But the minute the YouTuber answers back, or like say his own subscribers answers back, that's when they get life, because then they know they're pissing people off.
Very true. Very true.
You don't feed those trolls.
I see it now. I see Peter in his videos. He looks like disgruntled. It's not like before we'd be pissed off complaining, right? Like, Peter looks really hurt.
They try to get him arrested.
Oh damn!
No, did you? He got detained from a video I seen.
Yeah, he said he didn't get arrested though, because they detained him to look into the accusation, whatever he was doing. I forget what he did. That
he walked out of a internet shop. I believe he walked out of an internet shop without paying the bill.
And then he said that like he had that departure charge against him that was going on for the last couple of months, where like he had to leave the country, but then that's all taken care of now. So, yeah, I guess he said he didn't get arrested. He got detained. It's all good. It's funny because, these people, they want to bring him down, man. Like they want.
I feel bad for the guy, man. I can't even lie.
Well, I mean, I can understand. I don't condone it in any way. I can understand that, because if you've seen a lot of the past videos, it was,
he said some dumb stuff.
Yeah, man.
He just bashes the Filipino people sometimes.
Yeah,
and I look at him like, why did you do that?
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, just be quiet.
It's like, yo, you are in the Philippines and you're bashing. Like, don't do that. Don't do that in anywhere. If you're not doing it in your home country,
Yeah.
don't do it in other. Especially how passionate and how beautiful the Philippine culture is.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, man, don't be doing that.
Yo, man, I got trashed so hard one time. I talked about my experience I had with a couple of Filipino businesses, right? Didn't say anything about the Philippines, because a lot of people that were commenting don't even have a business. So why would they be offended, right? I said, thing I dislike, and I spoke about businesses. I spoke about what happened at a couple of restaurants, how they won't allow you to return food. They won't allow you to return certain things. Meaning, I'm not just doing it just to return it, but I explained my situation. Oh, you're complaining so much. Da, da, da. I'm like, damn. Well, I can't tell how it feels. And I got bashed in there because a lot of times you do get a lot of blind pride to where somebody can say something. Say Peter didn't mean it harmful, right? They're not going to take it like that.
Yeah, but Peter's problem wasn't really the Filipino people. It was the other expat vloggers.
No, it was everything.
Yeah. It was
Peter
everything.
was talking about women. He was talking about the Filipino people. He was talking about the expat vloggers.
But all the attacks on him came from other expat vloggers. From expats that wanted to bring him down because he was always attacking them. And, they could have 5 guys attacking him. He's a one-man army. He was standing up to them, and they're going back and forth. Yeah, like all the other stuff he said, it's his own thing. He whatever he said, like I know he always just on Filipino food. He always eat Western food and all that stuff. And he didn't really embrace the culture, in his videos. And,
yeah, you get that. But if you dig deeper into Filipino food, they have a lot of good food. I didn't know too when I first came.
But see,
I love the food.
But see, that's not his problem. His problem was the other expats. That was the problem. They were going at each other, and they just trying to shut him down. Hey,
no, but some of the fake channels though are from Filipinos.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's like 5 fake channels that are Filipino channels out there, man. That are bashing him because that's what he says. But what you were saying?
Yeah, but most of all the ones he's always had a problem with that gang together are all American expats, and Canadians, Americans and Canadians.
And probably some Britons in there too, some Spains.
Yeah, I just don't like. I've seen a couple of his things. It's like, yo, why? I can understand you having a problem with the other expats. That's cool, but if it why are you talking bad about the people? What did the people do to you? What did the Philippines? And why are you in the Philippines if you're talking bad about it?
Yeah.
The number one question.
Yeah, why are you there?
Yeah, I would get that too.
I think everybody asked him that question. I think that's the one question everybody wants to know is wait, if you're complaining so much while you're there, but sometimes I honestly think that it's like a troll. He's just doing it to get a rise at it.
No, he's a troll himself, I think.
I think it's his way of, it's his lane. I'm gonna get a rise out of people. Do you remember he would make these 3-minute videos out of any trending topic in the Philippines. He always talks about the workers and the overseas workers and this and he'll just go hard on it and he'll make 5 videos a day for 3-minute videos. And I think that's just his thing. You know what I mean? He sees that as this is going to get me views.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't care about the backlash. So that's his thing. You think people. And the people that liked it watched it. And what too? I think his theory was too people that like it will watch it, and the people that don't will still watch it just to argue with him.
Yeah.
So he's getting views no matter what.
And it did happen for a while, but then now it's just too much.
Yeah, I don't. It just baffles. It's I don't know. Why would you want to get that stigma pushed on you? And not even the stigma, that's the wrong word I'm using there, but why would you want to get that placed on you?
Yeah, just that energy too. It brings that energy to you.
I don't know. I mean, that's a good question for him to answer. Like, that, you know what I mean? Like, is he that guy? Like, is it all an act? Like, he has said that. I seen a video where he said, like, on camera, it's an act. Off camera, he's a different person.
Mm-hmm. I can tell too.
He said when he meets other YouTubers, they're always amazed that off camera he's totally different. So it could be just an act, and he goes for maximum views by like starting controversy.
That like the Andy Kaufman theory, huh?
Yeah, he said that before. Like he's got this whole theory about how I forget what he calls it, like some kind of like boxing promotion or something. He said like I remember him making a video about why he makes the video.
He said it's like WWE or boxing before you prepare for a fight, and you get riled up, and the other guy gets riled up, and then you fight, have a good fight, and then after that, the fans love the before the fight, they love when the fight happened, and then after you and the guy are hugging, drinking beers, and that's what he said, and I was like,
But I do think the beef between him and all the other expats is real. I think they really just don't like each other.
Oh yeah.
Because I think they all try to expose each other. You know what I mean? Like he really hit hard at them. They hit hard at him. They dug into each other's past. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Questions their relationships. You know, how they're making their money. You know?
Yeah,
you know what?
The names they call some of these people, I didn't want to say them. I've heard so many sleazies, this, and I said, wow, this is crazy. But Chris, you told me, man, you said, look, before you go out there, even bloggers in Thailand said it's the craziest place for a blogger to be in the world. Like the expat blogger is in the Philippines.
They say the expats, the vlogging in the Philippines for expats is the worst.
Mm-hmm.
The worst community.
And you try to stay away from it, and people would say, no, you don't get that way. No, they come to you with that, you don't get that way. Put your foot and boom.
You think it's the worst? Why is it the worst?
Oh, no.
It's got to be the worst.
It's World War III, man.
You look at the other countries of vlogging, people don't fight with each other this way. This shit is just terrible. There's
like
so
people
much.
Would say comments, but like somebody would say something to somebody or make like a comment, like a quick slip comment, but not like, hey, yeah, this guy is running from immigration and all. The police are looking for this guy and wanted posters. It's like,
Jason, you know what's funny? Dudes who aren't even expats, they're just like people coming to the Philippines for like a month or two hanging out or whatever. They get involved in the drama. That's how you know it's a problem. People that aren't even expats living in the Philippines that just come for a month or two, they get involved in the drama because they're following the drama before they even get there. They're watching dudes, and then they get here and they get to the Philippines and they start fighting with other expats, and they're not even.
Yeah, I've seen people do it, and they fight with expats and they're not even here yet.
They're not even expats. They're just visiting, and they're fighting with expats.
Could it?
You know?
Could it be? Could it be the like the stigma of many people in that go to the Philippines, and this has nothing to do with the Philippines themselves, but it's the people that actually go to the Philippines. Could it be that it's more of like they're going to be not even just expats, but more sexpats?
Well,
it's a mentality too.
It's a good number of the community, I would say. You know, I would say it does seem to be a lot of older men, younger women. Mm-hmm. It's hard to say though. Like it's really hard to say what it is. I think it's just a bunch of like grumpy older people fighting with each other, but for whatever reason. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's funny. I think they all kind of like liked each other in the beginning. They all met up and then like just started fighting.
No, I don't think it happened like that. You know, some people do click together though.
No, because they've a lot of them all met each other previously, and a lot of these people started arguing post meeting each other. You know? I think because like they were just moving in different ways, and like maybe somebody's channel grew a little faster than somebody else's. There's a lot of like,
maybe some
feelings of hurt.
Some little animosity of like, oh, how come I ain't getting the views?
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting if like they did a podcast and I got all of them on and just started asking a question like, why you don't like him? Let's hug it out. Talk to us. What went wrong?
Pattern.
Guys,
We're having the issue.
we just had 3 podcasts and 1. I think I'm gonna have to shut this down.
Yeah, we really did.
Next time I think we may have to set this to private, right? And then just chop them all up.
Yeah, we might. I mean,
like this would have been 3 different podcasts, man.
I'll be on anytime, man. Like just let me know.
Yeah. And yeah, definitely your boy Chris, Jason, it was good. Bane, we definitely gonna talk some more.
I think Bane was gonna say something before you start talking.
Yeah, Bane.
Oh, all I was gonna say is just that I just noticed that there's something simple with the people that complain in the community. It needs to be either that there's an age gap, like they're old, their finances are poor, or they're not in a healthy relationship. And it seems the ones that don't have a mate to be able to keep their stress level low, they complain a lot. Their finances are bad, they complain a lot. They're up in age and can't connect with the new generation. Their attitude is bad. That's my observation. I could be wrong, but that's
well, no, you have a little bit of a point because you have to think of somebody living on retirement. A lot of guys, they're not earning extra income, so they're limited income. You get what I'm saying? Their income is limited. So what happens is they're doing that, and then even your boy Chris will tell you, then they go into bars, checking on prostitutes, and then they don't have enough money to pay their rent, and they're stressing, and they have enough for their rent, but then they can't do anything for 2 weeks when there's 2 weeks left out of the month, until their check comes again. So it's sort of mentality too.
All that negative energy is brewing. See that when you go to any country or something, or even within a country in America, if you're gonna move from New York to Texas, you need to have a plan. And that's like with me, one of my strategies was how can I affect the economy positively and bring in money to their economy so I can be accepted by their people, but then also how can I help my people? So like what I do is I teach the students, of course, at Valencia Buchanan College. So that's my brains, that's the workforce that's providing graphic design and web design. But then I have a group of expats or foreigners or people who are still living in America that speak good English, maybe retired or not working. They just make cold calls and call people and saying, hey, do you need a website? Do you need graphic design? So what I am is just a middleman organizing labor. I'm organizing good communicators, whether they're in foreign countries or in America, with brains. And most of my brains are in the Philippines, but I made it to where nobody had to spend any money, so there's no schemes, and I had a benefit, and then I had a plan, and then I worked my plan before I got to the Philippines to go to make sure it was successful, and have my PayPals to prove it. So therefore I'm not grumpy, and then I have a healthy relationship. So therefore I won't be in bars smoking and drinking, and you get what I'm saying. So once again, like I said, those 3 main things.
Are you with the Filipina? I wanted to ask you. Are you with the Filipina?
I'm actually in Houston, Texas right now. And I'm going to be going to the Philippines in late August, and I'll be staying there for about 6 months. And because I have my Philippine work visa, I'm not work visa, but work permit already, that allowed me to be able to create my own work visa to work for myself within my own business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. I was asking you, are you with a Filipino right now? Like, or do you have a Filipino as a girlfriend?
Yeah, I'm with a Filipina, and we're both Arab. I believe in being equally yoked. I'm just a normal looking guy and she's a normal looking girl, but in my eyes she's a 10. But by by the world standards, people may look at us and be like, but like I say, I'm not about competition. The reason why I'm with her is not because she's young and pretty. I'm with her because she's the brain of the operations that's running everything for me at the local college. So
that's why I'm with my wife too. I understand.
So That's all. Those older guys, if they could, it's not too late. If they could structure a plan and make use of their time and be productive, I believe they'll have more meaning in their lives and they won't have so much to gripe about. You know?
Yeah, man, definitely.
I think there's a lot of truth in that too.
Say that one time.
I think there's a lot of truth to of that outlook of how you're saying it. It could be that where the negativity stems from.
Yeah, man. People, we're only human. These people get stressed out under financial situations, and if they could just find a person to connect with or get their money up, I guarantee you their negative situations will start to decrease because they'll have more positive things to do with their time.
Yeah.
I'm definitely if you guys, I mean, to where everything's is going, I'm definitely willing to come together and see what can be built and platforms that can be built.
Definitely. It's definitely coming together. It's just a couple of plans need to be made. Minds need to connect. Me and your boy Chris talk all the time. Now I can start speaking with Bane and you.
Yeah, definitely. And
then we'll see how we can put this all together and work it out as far as financial, with finances, with getting this started, with just like Bane said before. I thought that was smart. Not about hey, how can I make this dollar right now, but how can we grow this company and still get paid at the same time?
Exactly. It's building a future wealth.
Exactly.
That you want to have that residual income and not just that income right now.
Exactly. So where it's just doubling and tripling and 10 times and 300 times, 300 times more than where you started. It's just like, okay, you're doing something good. And that's where it needs to be, man. So it's great that Bane is also into web design as well. I'll definitely give him a plug. You can plug in your website, man.
Fine. Say it again.
No, I said plug in your website.
Oh, okay, good deal. I'm actually a white label developer, so there are some websites that I can go ahead and send you links to where it's other people who sell websites, and I'm just the guy, and my team is behind them. Because that's the whole thing with my students in Valencia.
Mm-hmm.
So
you turned your students into hustlers, pretty much.
Yeah, but look, check this out. All of my students, if you link with me on Facebook, you see the parents of my students give me much respect. I don't treat my students like foreign slave labor. I treat my students like extensions of my family. And my head students, what I did is I set them up with their own PayPal accounts, but I manage their PayPal accounts that, I have a username and password, but they went to China Bank or Bank of China rather. That's the bank I chose for all my students to deal with to set up their accounts. And what I do is I just send them money because I let them make up what they want to get paid because they think Filipino still, and I'm not tripping. So that's actually a good thing. So this is what I did. I overpay them and tell them to pay themselves. And I've done that here in America, and I've done that in Germany, I've done that in Mexico, and I've done that in the Philippines. And out of all the places, only in the Philippines can I overpay somebody and they will email me or tag me on Facebook and ask me for permission to pay themselves and not overpay themselves. Yeah. So I have several students with hundreds of dollars, which actually equates to thousands of pesos with money in each of their bank accounts that they will not pay. So then I have to tell my students, pay yourself, treat yourself. After you pay for your school and the upgrade to your computer, you need to take a break. And then look, I got the screenshot. The mothers, look, the moms, they'll be on Facebook screenshotting my conversations. Like I'll talk to one parent, and I'll be like, "Hey, make sure Renzo or such and such is paying for this." Whenever I'm first building a relationship with a student, I don't know where their mind's at. So I'll talk to the parent, and I'll be like, "Hey, make sure your son or whatever is paying for the school and everything like that." Then I'm seeing screenshots of my conversations from the parents, like, "Oh, Bane is such a blessing. Thanks to my son's new online job." And these kids are so freaking responsible. Bane. They're like so loyal. Yes, sir.
Oh no, I was saying.
I'm sorry.
No. It's okay. I know. I had a passion. I love it, and that's why I want to talk to you about this. I think we kept talking for a reason. Now, about what was it? About 2 months ago, maybe a little over that. I was talking to your boy Chris. We had a long podcast about helping the poor. And I know Chris teaches where I'm getting at. Now, this is something I was talking about doing, something similar to this. You understand what I'm getting at? Now, not just
I didn't hear.
Oh no! I made a podcast just like we're doing now, but the podcast was totally dedicated to speaking about how can you help the poor in the Philippines, right? And so one thing me and your boy Chris was saying is it's more than just giving them, like, these people need help with inspiration. You understand what I'm saying to you?
You got to teach them how to fish.
You got to teach them how to fish, and that's what you're doing, and that's what I'm about. You know, that's what I've done in the past. The same thing as you. Like you said, I taught Filipinos cold calling and helped them get more than they were getting paid. You know, so I see you're doing the same thing. We all need to talk about that too. Me, you, Chris, and Jason.
Yeah, definitely, because I'm about teaching somebody how to fish too.
Yeah, and these are ways, because people can get money online. They don't have to be in the U.S. to get the money. You understand? And that's what you're doing, man. A lot of people think they need to go to U.S. and get there, you know, and go get married and go to U.S. when they can make that same money in the Philippines or anywhere in the world.
Exactly. Look, you don't have to spend any money to be able to make this money. And what I was telling you, like what I have the Americans doing, the one thing that my company does that's different from other companies is I let my resellers have their own PayPal. They get their own DBA, their own PayPal, their own name, where my name's not associated with them. That's number one. Number two, we do 100% no upfront cost demos on graphic design and web design. So that takes care of the client that the U.S. person is selling, having the anxiety of, am I going to get jacked? Is this going to be another design project that starts and never gets finished? So now going to the Philippine side, it's so cheap for the labor, and I have them paying themselves. They pay themselves regardless if we get paid or not. But the ratio of businesses that close that actually pay is so high because we do all the work with no upfront costs. It ends up. How do I explain this? It's just crazy. The money just. It's so crazy. Anybody can do this right now. Jay, Jason, Chris, right now, all you have to do is go to your local college in the Philippines and find you some of the smartest kids. Have them show you what they're capable of doing with Photoshop CS6 and WordPress and maybe some Joomla, but try to stick within the WordPress. So I'm giving you the recipe. This is the game. So then, and there's enough business for everybody. There's millions of people. It's not like we can hurt each other. So it's not like it's an issue. I'm a teacher. This is what I do. So anyway, so you get the students, you make sure that they have the proper computers to be able to do the work. And then you go ahead and you invest in them. Now remember, $300 or $400 with a student can go like a month or two, you know, for more than one student. Like 3 or 4 students can have $100, and that can last them each, you know, a month or two. And so now you go ahead and you find Americans that need work, you know, whether they need work or they just want to expand their business. And you say, hey, I have a company. They could be able to help you boost your brand. We do all the work no upfront cost. Only pay if you're 100% satisfied. Send an email saying you're 100% satisfied, and then, you know, we accept payments, so there's no complaints. So then that makes the reseller feel comfortable. The reseller goes out into the community, whether it be a beauty salon or something as big as a law firm. They start selling these sites and getting, you know, simple stuff like business cards, postcards, flyers, graphic, like it's so like all this simple stuff. And then they resell it. Now you may only have $20, $30 profit here in the graphic design, but then you got your Philippine students, you pay them $5, $10 for a job that only took them 30 minutes. They're extremely happy because some people only making $5, $10 a day. You get what I'm saying?
Not even that. Not even making $5, $10 a day.
Man, it's like all you have to do is just figure out supply and demand. So that's like, if I could apply the same theory to anything, whether it be music, clothing, hair, cosmetology, accounting, all you have to do is just find the talented people that are in the third world country and invest in them instead of waiting for you to get your money up front. Just make sure you find you a solid crew and invest in them and make sure that you know their capability. Once you figure out that they have the capability, then sell their capability to the first world country. The first world country then sells it, and then you're the middleman that brokers the deal between the people who do the work and the people who are selling the work. And then everybody's happy. So now you have people like, for example, expats that are probably stranded in the Philippines and they don't have work. Give them a job. It's like, look, man, get you a Google Voice number, start making phone calls, and you build a customer. You don't even have to wait for us to get paid. We get paid from you. That's how you can tell, like, you guys can set up your own businesses just like that and not have to spend any money. Or if you spend any money, it's only in your students.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bang, where are you at? Where are you at currently?
Oh, I thought you were talking to me. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying where are you at? Like
Houston, Texas.
Okay, yeah. I'm
in Houston, Texas.
I'm actually going to be moving to Texas here in a month.
Yep. So I'm in Houston, Texas right now, but you're not going to catch me. If you want, I bought my own house. I have a barangay, because I have the business permit and everything. In Valencia, Bukidnon, that's already there. Anybody that's in the Philippines now is more than welcome to stay. It's big with a big concrete, perimeter with a metal gate around it. So I have my own safe, secure compound and everything, minutes away from Valencia Bukidnon College. And anybody that's there now can go there. If you want to see me in Houston, I'm just going to be here for about a month and a half. And then after that, I'm going to be in Valencia and I won't come back until after Christmas, probably like January, February.
See,
I'll be in
the Philippines in September. I'll be in Iloilo City.
Look, it's so cheap to travel out there. And then if you want to be a guest in my location, you want to be a guest in my location and chop it up and expand your mind or something like that, my house is more than big enough to be able to accommodate. And I have 2 air cons in my house right now, and I'm working on getting another one in my guest bedroom so that the whole house, it's those window unit air. Well, it's not the window, it's the air cons that go up in the ceiling. It's not the ones that go.
The Panasonics and the I can't remember the other ones.
Oh, I got a question. What's up with being able to find a dryer in the Philippines? Like
a dryer?
I just want an American dryer. Yeah, just a dryer for my clothes. I don't want the combo washing.
No, they have the single dryer. You gotta go to SM. You gotta go to the major malls.
No, check out SNR.
SNR.
Yeah, SNR is it's like their version of Costco. It's actually owned by the same people. They got Kirkland brands, everything you can get in Costco. It's the same thing.
Got you. So just go to SNR. Let me write that down.
Yeah.
I needed that information right there. And then it's like my Filipino family. I tell them about getting a dryer, and they make it seem like it's excessive. It's like just dry it outside in the line. I'm like, no, I can't do that. I need to have a dryer. And it's like they make fun of me because I'm American. It's like just wait till you get here, and then I'll become Filipino. But it's like I don't know. I can't. I need my dryer, man. I need my dryer.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, I'm about to wrap up the podcast. We're still going to be on after this is done. Everyone that watched, I know it was long, but if you stayed around the whole time, thank you for watching. See you next week.
Yeah.
All right,